Chapter 590. You saved the Milky Way in your past life. Don't thank me, thank the Milky Way. Lu Shuang was speechless. Hua Zixing pursed her lips and laughed. You guys are making me laugh. Then what did I do in my past life? You are the Milky Way, Lu Shuang said. Hua Zixing laughed so hard that she was about to cry. Shen Yan put down her chopsticks. All right. Get ready to leave in 5 minutes. Put on a down jacket. The weather forecast says it's going to be cold. Can I move my computer? Didn't you say you have 2 meetings in the morning? There are a lot of files in your office. I'm afraid I might accidentally delete them, Lu Shuang said softly. Follow me in the morning, I'll take you to the cabinet, Hua Zixing said softly. The cabinet? I still need to level up. There won't be any bugs tomorrow, Lu Shuang rejected her politely. Hua Zixing looked at Shen Yan. Lu Shuang surprised her once again. Many women wanted to go to the cabinet, which was filled with the wives of the rich and powerful, but Lu Shuang only wanted to play games. How could such a woman become the president's wife? Shen Yan also noticed this and said in a low voice, I can delay the bug for a few more days. Follow Zixing to the cabinet. I'll have to trouble you to take care of her. Don't worry, I'll definitely take good care of her. Hua Zixing smiled. 5 minutes later, the 3 of them sat in Shen Yan's car. Lu Shuang sat in the front passenger seat, and Colonel Chung drove. Lu Shuang turned to look at Shen Yan, who was pretending to be asleep. I suddenly thought of something. Where's the reward you mentioned? The reward for saving the Prime Minister. Shen Yan opened her eyes, a cunning look in them. Didn't I transfer 3 million to your account? Isn't that because I'm good at games? That level? He only knows how to hide. Shen Yan couldn't help but complain. Shen Yan, you're so shameless. Lu Shuang couldn't help but complain. Seeing that Lu Shuang was looking at her in disappointment, he smiled. He loved teasing her the most. It was an addiction and a hobby. He said, I've already asked my secretary to prepare a reward for you. It'll be spectacular. Spectacular? Even more spectacular than 3 million? Lu Shuang asked tentatively. I remember you were a lieutenant when you were in Guling Qing, weren't you? You've made a great contribution this time, so you'll be promoted to captain. It's very difficult for ordinary people to be promoted, Shen Yan explained. That? I think 3 million is more practical, Lu Shuang hinted. Shen Yan ignored Lu Shuang. She closed her eyes and continued to pretend to sleep. Lu Shuang muttered softly, cheapskate, drink some cold water. She felt that the last 2 sentences were inappropriate, so she didn't say it out loud. Shen Yan heard it and smiled. She was in a good mood. He remembered something that happened when he was young. At that time, the high school entrance exam was a test for physical education. Therefore, in the 3rd year of middle school, physical education could not be neglected, especially the 800-meter long-distance race. That day, he saw her give a bottle of Coke to a boy in her class. That boy was only as tall as his neck. At that time, he had ridiculed her. What kind of taste did Lu Shuang have? Not every boy who was less than 1.6 meters was a fighter jet. He easily snatched the Coke from the boy and drank it. He even treated the whole class except for Lu Shuang. He heard Lu Shuang saying that cheapskate, drink cold water, marry a wife, and only have 1 leg. In the end, she tripped over him while running and twisted her leg. He was in a very good mood. When he passed by Lu Shuang, he felt refreshed. He even teased, Yo, now you only have 1 leg left. Later, he found out that Lu Shuang didn't pay for the drink. She borrowed $2.50 from the boy. The boy gave her $5 and asked her to bring him a bottle of Coke. He was kind enough to let the boy go. However, the boy never dared to lend money to Lu Shuang again. The car entered Shen Yan's workplace. After the inspection, it stopped at Shen Yan's office. The guard came to open the door. Shen Yan and Hua Zixing came down. Lu Shuang followed Shen Yan into the office building. Shen Yan's secretary was a white-haired old man. He wore a suit and looked very elegant. He was like a respected teacher in a martial arts novel, with a cool and proud temperament. There was a special logo on the belt of his suit. It should be a work uniform. She had come with Shen Yan on Friday, but she didn't see this person. He asked for leave last week. He is my secretary. His surname is Jiang. You can call him Secretary Jiang from now on. He is in charge of all the secretaries here. He is a very responsible and meticulous senior. I have a lot to learn from him, Shen Yan explained to Lu Shuang. There were very few people that Shen Yan could learn from. Lu Shuang nodded politely. Nice to meet you, Secretary Jiang. I am Lu Shuang, Shen, President's assistant. Secretary Jiang nodded indifferently, indicating that he understood. She works directly under me. I will ask her to do some things, Shen Yan said. Only then did Secretary Jiang place his gaze on Lu Shuang's face. He looked her up and down as if he was trying to gauge her capabilities. Lu Shuang felt guilty under his gaze. She straightened her back and tried to look at him directly. At least, she didn't look inferior. Take good care of the president, Secretary Jiang said in a low voice. In front of others, Lu Shuang didn't dare to be too presumptuous. She nodded politely and said, I will follow your instructions. Shen Yan smiled. Sometimes, when Lu Shuang pretended to be good, she could really fool people. He remembered that she didn't do her math paper once. At that time, many people didn't do it. The teacher got angry and asked those who didn't do it to stand up. Many students stood up, and the teacher called their parents. He saw that she didn't do it, but she didn't stand up. She pretended to be calm. He hated that she ignored him, so he raised his hand and told the teacher that she didn't do her math paper. The teacher walked towards her and asked angrily, Where is the math paper? He saw that she said calmly to the teacher, I left it at home. I will bring it tomorrow. In the end, the teacher really let her go. She didn't have great wisdom, but she still had the ability to be anxious. Tell me the main schedule for this week, Shen Yan said. You have 2 meetings in the morning. The main contents of the meetings are about the election of the finance minister, the reform of the education bureau, the discussion of the military parade, and the maneuver of the north and south military regions. This week, you need to visit the old cadres, the empty nesters who were elected last month, and the 2 orphanages. You see, I still need to do those things. I will participate in the invisible maneuver this week. In addition, find a reason to invite successful entrepreneurs from 22 states to City A. I want to meet them, Shen Yan said. Chapter 591. I'm just doing what I'm supposed to do. We have to arrange this quickly. Otherwise, we might miss a good opportunity. Our opponent won't give us much time to breathe, Shen Yan reminded him. Yes, I'll arrange it now. Your meeting will start at 9. Okay, Shen Yan replied and looked at Hua Zixing. Hua Zixing nodded with a smile and said to Lu Shuang, Come with me. Lu Shuang walked towards Hua Zixing and looked back at Shen Yan. He was looking at her too, and the corners of his lips curled up slightly. There were some things that she did not understand. For example, why did Secretary Jiang say that he was more resourceful and far-sighted than her father when he said that he wanted to meet entrepreneurs? The current him seemed to be different from the arrogant and wicked boy he was when he was young. He was more mature, calm, and shrewd than before. It felt like a boy had grown up to be a man. She had a strange feeling in her heart, and she felt a little flustered. She lowered her head and followed Hua Zixing. Don't worry. Just stay by my side when the time comes. I can introduce you to the important members. If you don't want to do anything wrong, try not to talk. I'll help you, Hua Zixing said gently. Madam, there's actually no need, Lu Shuang said. I'm not interested in these things. You'll have to interact with them in the future. This is your job and responsibility. You can't avoid it. Maybe it's because your life is simpler, but it doesn't matter. I'll try my best to teach you. If there's anything you don't understand, you can ask me, Hua Zixing said gently. Lu Shuang wanted to say something but stopped. He was afraid that if he said that he wanted to leave and if Shen Yan found out, it would be hard for her to leave. So, he held back and followed Hua Zixing to the cabinet. There was a special meeting room in the cabinet. It was filled with women, and they were all seated according to their positions. The most respected one was Hua Zixing. Hua Zixing was the head of the cabinet. The higher the position, the closer they were to Hua Zixing. Lu Shuang felt that it was inappropriate for him to sit near Hua Zixing, so he walked towards the last seat. Hua Zixing held Lu Shuang's hand and said, Nangong Yu usually sits at the first seat on my left to record the meeting minutes. She's been sick for the past few days, so you'll have to take her place. The meeting minutes are on the table in the corner. Hua Zixing's voice was soft and gentle, neither too loud nor too soft. It was just loud enough for everyone to hear. She explained the reason why Lu Shuang came here, so that others wouldn't feel weird when she sat in the first seat. Lu Shuang felt that Hua Zixing's EQ was extremely high. It was something that she could never learn. He nodded respectfully and went to pick up a book and a pen from the table in the corner. Then, he sat at the first seat on Hua Zixing's left. Let's have a casual chat. It's almost the new year. What kind of gift would you like to receive and give? Hua Zixing said with a smile. The meeting was dead silent. No one said a word. Lu Shuang didn't know what was going on, so he definitely wouldn't speak. Sitting down was torturous. She would rather play games in front of the computer than now. Hua Zixing looked at Su Zheng's wife on her right. Mrs. Su, what do you think? I think it's a token of our sincerity. Let's just do the same as the previous years. Su Zheng's wife didn't have her own opinion. If it's the same as the previous years, won't it be too perfunctory? Mrs. Hua, what do you think? Hua Zixing asked Wuxia's wife. I think we should give out a supermarket card. It can increase the nation's output and also let everyone buy what they like. It's a win-win situation, Mrs. Wuxia said. I think it's a good idea. It's more popular and convenient to apply for a supermarket card, someone added. Won't that be too boring? I think it's also a perfunctory idea. Hua Zixing said after some thought. She looked at Lu Shuang. What do you think? Lu Shuang was stunned. I think we can just vote by raising our hands. Those who think it's good, raise your hand. Those who think it's not good, don't raise your hand. Okay, let's vote by raising our hands. Those who think it's good, raise your hand, Hua Zixing said gently. Lu Shuang was the first to raise her hand, and the others followed suit one after another. Then we'll give out a supermarket card and a box of apples. We hope that everyone is safe and healthy. Is that okay? Hua Zixing asked. No one objected. However, Lu Shuang felt that the atmosphere in the meeting room was a little weird. She was a layman, so she kept her head down and wrote in her notebook. New Year's goods, a supermarket card and a box of apples. I'm going to the orphanage next week. Does anyone want to go with me? Hua Zixing asked. Sir, I'd like to go with you. Lu Shuang saw a woman in her 50s raise her hand. Her voice was trembling, and she sounded like a yes man. Lady Zheng, you shouldn't go. Your husband is in the limelight now. It's not appropriate for you to go to the orphanage to see those innocent children, someone retorted immediately. The wife of the Minister of Education didn't look good. She said awkwardly. Those are the doings of his subordinates. He doesn't know about it. He's being wronged. Some places are too far away for him to manage. It's just something that happens in the corner. That's exactly what you're doing. I think there's a big problem with the Ministry of Education. These students are the future of the country. What you're doing is shaking the foundation of the country. The Minister of Education's face was pale. She said angrily, Mrs. Chen, how can you say that? How is it shaking the foundation of the country? According to you, even a plastic bag thrown from the window can make a big hole in the ground. Is this the same thing? The Ministry of Education is training the next generation of the country. Your husband let some bad students replace the good students. Those bad students have bad characters. They commit murder and arson. They will also lead the good students astray. This kind of behavior is very bad. It's no wonder the foundation of the country will be shaken in the long run. What do you mean my husband let them do that? My husband doesn't know at all. If he knew, he wouldn't let this happen, the wife of the Minister of Education argued. Your husband is in charge of this. If he doesn't know, isn't that a dereliction of duty? Mrs. Chen said sarcastically. Chen Miao, you're in cahoots with that Bai Ya, right? Are you her lackey? The wife of the Minister of Education said harshly. Lu Shuang's heart skipped a beat when he heard the name Bai Ya. Chapter 592. She recalled a lot of her past experiences with Bai Ya. The two of them went to the hospital for their internship together. As they were both newbies, they naturally got closer when they entered. As Bai Ya's personality was rather cold, they didn't interact much with each other. The turning point was when the internship was about to end. She caught a cold and was in a daze the entire day. She didn't even finish her thesis and thought that it would be bad luck. She didn't expect that Bai Ye would finish it for her and hand it in. She was a loyal person. After that, she became especially close to Bai Ye. Slowly, the two of them became good friends. If it wasn't for her mother's matter, she would probably still be best friends with Bai Ye. Unfortunately, there were no ifs in the world. Her mother wouldn't have come back to life. Now, Bai Ye was already high up in the sky. The two of them were like strangers. In her heart, there was always some bitterness. The feelings in the past were really sincere. Her heart wasn't made of stone. It wouldn't not feel anything. Lu Shuang, what do you think? Hua Zixing asked. Lu Shuang came back to her senses. She was immersed in her memories and didn't hear what they were talking about. Oh, I don't understand. I won't comment. Hua Zixing was stunned and smiled. She really didn't expect Lu Shuang to have such an answer. Did she overestimate her? Can anyone explain in detail? Hua Zixing said gently. It's like this. This Lady Zhang is the wife of the Minister of Education. Now that there's a big problem in the Ministry of Education, I don't think it's appropriate for the minister's wife to follow the president's wife to the orphanage, Chen Miao said. What's inappropriate about it? I want to see that the child's heart is good. If you insist on scaring people like Bai Ye, I feel that you have bad intentions, the minister's wife said angrily. Nowadays, everything that's being posted on the internet is the truth. How is it an alarmist? Look, the child's heart is good. Who would believe that? If it was good, why would they let a poor student take over the position of a good student? Chen Miao refused to let go of this matter. Lady Zhang said that her husband didn't know about it. I believe that the Minister of Education is also investigating this matter. I don't think the children in the orphanage should be involved in this matter. What do you think? Mrs. Wuxia said. She was experienced and prudent. As soon as she spoke, everyone was silent for a few seconds. Hua Zixing smiled and did not speak. Mrs. Zhua, Deputy Director Zhua is in charge of the education department. You won't cover for her, will you? Chen Miao said sarcastically. If they find out the truth, they will definitely be punished severely. However, before the truth is out, it will show that they have bad intentions to speculate and slander us. Mrs. Chen, your husband is the director of the Provincial Public Security Bureau. What do you think? Mrs. Wuxia said calmly. Maybe it was because of her age and experience. Although she said this with a smile, it was a strong deterrent. I've said what I think. I can't do anything if you want to cause public anger. If you don't listen to good people, you will suffer. Chen Miao shrugged and looked indifferent. Lu Shuang, what do you think? Hua Zixing asked softly. Lu Shuang blinked. Didn't Hua Zixing tell him to talk less? He kept asking her what she thought. Did she think that the meeting could be adjourned? Actually, Lady Zhang wants to go to the orphanage to whitewash herself and make everyone think that she is very caring. Because she went with the president's wife, she also wants others to know that the president doesn't think that there is a problem with the Minister of Education. She wants those who are watching the show to shut up. Mrs. Chen thinks that the Ministry of Education is in the limelight now. If she goes with the president's wife to the orphanage, it will drag the president down with her and make others think that the president is unfair. Also, if there is a problem with the Ministry of Education, whitewashing herself like this will make people hate her. I think that going to the orphanage is fine. After all, everyone has the responsibility to love the orphans. However, it is not suitable to go to the orphanage when it is in the limelight. It will make people feel that there is something wrong with it. But I don't know much about it. In the end, it is up to you to decide. Lu Shuang smiled at Lady Zhang to show his friendliness. Everyone fell silent after she finished speaking. The atmosphere was oppressive. The people here didn't speak clearly. They stood in a high position and looked dignified. If they didn't say their private messages, they would seem hypocritical. Lu Shuang's words were very honest and thought-provoking. Mrs. Zhua, what do you think? Hua Zixing asked Mrs. Wuxia. Lu Shuang glanced at the other people's expressions. She guessed that Mrs. Zhua was the most respected person here, so even Hua Zixing was afraid of her. Mrs. Wuxia smiled. Indeed, Advisor Lu's words make sense. Before the investigation is complete, it would be inappropriate for Madame Zhang to go to the orphanage. It wouldn't be too late to go after the investigation is complete. Mrs. Wuxia looked at Lu Shuang with a smile. Lu Shuang realized that Advisor Lu was referring to her. I don't know if I'm right. Just wait and see. Lu Shuang tried to play dumb. She wasn't Advisor Lu. She wouldn't take sides with anyone. She needed to solve her own problems first. She didn't want to get involved in someone else's mess. Then it's decided. We'll have plenty of opportunities to go to the orphanage in the future. Mrs. Hua, Mrs. Su, can you two come with me this time? Hua Zixing asked. Su Zheng's wife nodded. I'm fine with it. Mrs. Wuxia pursed her lips and said meaningfully, I'm not going. I don't know if it's because of my water inversion, but I can't catch a cold. Maybe it's because I'm old and I can't be compared to young people. Mrs. Hua, you have to take care of yourself. Nothing else matters except your health, Hua Zixing said gently. You're right, leader. Mrs. Wuxia nodded. Who else wants to sign up? Hua Zixing asked. I like kids. I have to prepare some presents for them, Chen Miao said with a smile. Hua Zixing nodded. Thank you, everyone. Let's call it a day. Let's adjourn. Lu Shuang wrote in his notebook, the president's wife will take Mrs. Su and Chen Miao to the orphanage. Hua Zixing stood up and walked to the door. Lu Shuang put the notebook on the table in the corner and left with Hua Zixing. She felt the air was much fresher as soon as she walked out. What did you see in the meeting? Hua Zixing asked in a low voice. The meeting is over. I didn't see anything. I'm a bit dizzy. Lu Shuang felt like he was taking a mock exam. She scratched her head. Her hair, which had been tied up neatly, was now in a mess. Chapter 593. Just the sound of it made it sound very difficult. If I knew all this, I wouldn't be so useless now. Please forgive me. I'm a little sleepy and want to sleep. I slept late last night. Lu Shuang yawned. Hua Zixing sighed. Take it slow. Ian is still in a meeting. Why don't you sleep in my room? There's a lounge in my room. Thank you, Mrs. President. You're the best. Hurry up and take me there, Lu Shuang urged, smiling as she hugged Hua Zixing's arm. Hua Zixing's lips twitched as she brought her to her room. Lu Shuang took off her shoes and clothes. She climbed into bed and got under the blanket. She waved at Hua Zixing. Please close the door. Thank you. Hua Zixing closed the door for her. Lu Shuang stared at the white ceiling. She felt a little bitter in her heart. Let the ending develop in the direction she wanted. She needed to show her power and control people's hearts. She really didn't know how to do all this. She was too casual and didn't use her brain much. She would get along with people she could get along with sincerely. She wouldn't get along with people she couldn't get along with. She didn't have so much time to think of schemes and strategies. She couldn't do that. People like her were more suited to find a stable job and a husband who worked from 9 to 5. She would gather with friends every few days, drink tea, and go shopping. She and Shen Yan. Impossible. Just thinking about it gave her a headache. She'd better not think about it. She closed her eyes and went to sleep. Hua Zixing was sitting in front of the office chair when her phone rang. She saw the caller ID and smiled. She answered. You're here. Yes, I'm here. Have you learned everything you need to learn? Hua Zixing asked. Yes. Go back to the President Palace and wait for me. I'll be back at noon. My garden is on the 3rd floor. Do you like it? Hua Zixing said with a smile. Yes, you planted it. I'll definitely like it. I won't disturb you anymore. I'll go over now. Okay. See you at noon. Hua Zixing hung up the phone with a smile on her face. She continued to look at the computer. Lu Shuang was woken up by her phone ringing. She looked at the caller ID and saw that it was Shen Yan. He didn't know why, but he was still feeling down. He answered Shen Yan's call while lying down. Where? Shen Yan asked. Lying on your. She didn't finish the word wife, and changed her words. Sleeping on Hua Zixing's side. I'm here to pick you up. It's time for lunch. We'll go to the training base in the afternoon, Shen Yan said with a smile. She seemed to be in a good mood. Yes. Lu Shuang sat up. He felt cold and put on his clothes. When he got up from the bed, Shen Yan pushed open the door and entered the room. He closed the door again, came to her side, hugged her waist, and kissed her lips. Lu Shuang covered his lips. I didn't brush my teeth. It's not like I despise you. It's not like you've been dirty for a day or two. Shen Yan smiled and looked at him dotingly. Shen Yan rolled her eyes at him. You're the dirty one. Yes, I'm dirty. We're a pair in the sky. We're both dirty. I didn't brush my teeth either, Shen Yan said with a smile and kissed her. Lu Shuang didn't put his hand down. He kissed the back of her hand and smiled. It was a smile that could make all living things go crazy. This guy's face had the lethality to charm all living things. Lu Shuang put his hand down. You look like you're in a good mood. He had already found out where their child was. He also knew where she used to live, who she contacted, who she left, who she met, who she rejected. In the future, even if she left, he would be able to find her. Could he tell her? He couldn't. He sat on the bed and pulled her onto his body. His voice became gentler. Am I in a good mood? At least I will grant all your requests now. What do you want? I don't want to go to meetings with Hua Zixing anymore. It's boring. It's just a bunch of women. It's boring, Lu Shuang said immediately. Shen Yan hesitated. Shen Yan, you said that you would grant all my requests just now. You lied to me again, Lu Shuang said coquettishly. Where did that come from? I asked you to follow Hua Zixing to learn more. She received royal education from a young age, and her father is also a member of the royal family. She handles things more meticulously than I do. When you marry me in the future, you'll have to do all this, Shen Yan explained patiently. Shen Yan, you and I have known each other for more than 10 years. Do you think I'm cut out for that? When the teacher was in class for a few more minutes, I was the one who yelled the loudest. I wasn't suited to live in such a well-behaved environment. I didn't have that kind of brain. Every time, Baiya would tell me that if I was in the classroom, I would be like this. In a palace drama, I'm sure I'll be the first one to carry the lunchbox. That's why I asked you to learn from Hua Zixing. Lu Shuang lowered his eyes and tugged at the flesh on his finger. I really don't understand why you want to marry me, who is so incompatible with you. If it's possible, I really think that you and Hua Zixing are pretty good. It's good that Hua Zixing and I are like this. She can help me manage the cabinet and get twice the results with half the effort. However, I want to give you a status. I don't want you to follow me with grievances. You don't want to follow me without a status, do you? Shen Yan was a little angry. Her cold eyes narrowed. Hey! Lu Shuang knocked his head. You were the one who said that I would grant you every request. Are you angry again? Shuang, can you be more proactive? Don't make me feel that I'm the only one who wants us to be together, okay? Shen Yan sighed softly and said helplessly. She really didn't want to be together with him. She lowered her eyes. She didn't know why, but there were waves of sadness in her heart. It was like the misty rain of Jiangnan enveloping her heart. It was moist and moist for no reason. Why do you like me? You know how I am. Lu Shuang couldn't figure it out. Shen Yan smiled and looked at him seductively. Because there's only you. I've liked you since junior high. I've confessed to you before. Don't you remember? You confessed to me in junior high? Why did she only remember that he had always bullied her? Didn't the school organize a trip to Qingfeng Park? Shen Yan reminded her. She remembered. Was it during the 3rd year of junior high? During the physical examination in the morning and the trip in the afternoon? When did you confess to me? Everyone said that as long as you give a willow branch and the other party accepts it, you can keep the other party and become a couple, Shen Yan explained. She remembered the willow branch part. She still remembered that it was a very good day. The sun was high in the sky and there were no clouds in the sky. She bought an ice cream and saw a group of classmates sitting on the ground in a circle. One look and she knew that they were gossiping. She went over happily. Chapter 594. He ran so fast that she couldn't catch up with him. She stood on the bridge, panting. After a while, she saw him walking over with an ice cream in his hand. He asked in a relaxed and teasing tone, "Is the willow branch for me?" She was so angry that she was about to explode. She felt that Shani Yan had spoiled her ice cream on purpose so that she could eat it in front of him to show off. "You accompany me to eat ice cream," she said angrily. Shani Yan passed the ice cream to her. She was shocked and suspected that the ice cream was poisoned. Otherwise, why would he really give her ice cream? She picked up the willow branch and whipped him. Just once. When she was about to whip him for the second time, he grabbed the branch. He said, "Hey, you are so fierce. Be careful that no one will marry you." "It's none of your business." She whipped the willow branch. He held it tightly. "Isn't this what you wanted to give me?" She thought that she had vented her anger by whipping him just now. She didn't want the willow branch anymore since it was his anyway. She let go of it, glared at him and left. He couldn't remember the things that happened after that, but he had a clear memory of this incident. "Do you remember?" Shani Yan asked her. "I didn't know that the willow branch had the intention to confess. No one told me." "Where did it go after that?" Lu Shuang asked curiously. Shani Yan chuckled. "In the President Palace, in my room, hanging on the wall. Didn't you notice?" Lu Shuang's eyes widened and her heart trembled violently. Shani Yan really liked her? "I didn't see it." Lu Shuang shook her head in disbelief. Shani Yan scratched her nose. "What can you see? I'll take you back to see it after dinner." "Aren't we eating at your house?" Shani Yan knocked her head. "What house? That's your house too. If you don't want to go, I'll take you to another place for dinner. Don't you like eating fish?" "I don't like fish." "Who told you that?" Lu Shuang was confused. She was very casual when it came to food. She would eat whatever was delicious. "Didn't you always go fishing with your friends?" Shani Yan remembered correctly. He knew her whereabouts like the back of his hand. "So, you're taking me out to eat fish?" "Yes. There's a fish feast that's especially good. When it comes to cooking fish banquets, Bai Ya's cooking is the best. Her cooking skills are top-notch," Lu Shuang praised. Shani Yan looked at her deeply. "Are you really not going to forgive Bai Ya? She's your best friend." Lu Shuang paused. His eyes dimmed and he shook his head. The deeper their feelings were, the more hurt they would be. It was to the extent that they would never see each other again. Shani Yan held her hand and walked out of the room. When Hua Zixing saw them, she stood up and smiled. "You go back first. I'll eat somewhere else with Lu Shuang," Shani Yan said to Hua Zixing. "Okay. Have you arranged everything?" Hua Zixing asked worriedly. "Yes. Thank you for your hard work these few days. Call me if anything happens." Shani Yan said to Hua Zixing politely. It was as if there was always a distance between them. It wasn't cold or hot. "It's my job," Hua Zixing said with a smile. She watched Lu Shuang and Shani Yan leave. They left. They were all dressed up. Shani Yan only brought Colonel Cheng with him. They drove to the back door of a restaurant in the downtown area and went straight to the private room on the 3rd floor. "We're out in broad daylight. Is it okay?" Lu Shuang asked worriedly. He looked to the left and then to the right. There were only the 3 of them in the entire corridor. "Don't worry." Shani Yan comforted her. She brought her to the private room and sat down. She explained, "This is the 3rd floor. No one can come up except for special staff. It's so troublesome and scary. Isn't that right, Colonel Cheng?" Lu Shuang looked at Colonel Cheng. Colonel Cheng lowered his head and smiled. He didn't say anything. If the president did this a few more times, his life would be shortened by a few years. He was terrified. "You see. Don't do this in the future," Lu Shuang suggested. "I bought this restaurant for you. I brought you here to take a look," Shani Yan said. Lu Shuang was surprised. He pointed at his nose and said, "You gave it to me." She couldn't take it away. She couldn't bear to give it to him. "Who else can I give it to if not you?" Shani Yan's lips twitched. The staff had already prepared Shani Yan's lunch. They lined up to send it over. Lu Shuang looked at it. It was really sumptuous. There were all kinds of delicacies made of fish in various styles. With this, Bai Ya's fish feast was more homely. Lu Shuang took a bite of the round, pancake-like thing. It's delicious. How do you make this?" Shani Yan looked at the staff next to her. The staff explained respectfully. "First, cut the fish into minced meat. Then, put in the cooked mutton and a small amount of flour. In the ratio of 5, 3, 1, put it in the lotus leaves and bake it in the oven at 500 degrees for 5 minutes. Then, take it out and wrap the shaped fish and mutton in the chicken. After that, you cut them into slices and pour the gravy over them. This is the fish playing with the lotus leaves that you are eating now. Lu Shuang. She was just asking casually. She didn't need to answer so seriously. She wouldn't do it anyway if she heard it. She twitched the corner of her mouth. She'd better keep her head down and eat. Introduce this Taoist to her, Shen Yan ordered. Spare me, Lu Shuang said. What are you afraid of? I'm not asking you to learn. Why don't you let me learn faster? Shen Yan said dotingly. She gestured to the staff with her eyes. The staff nodded and continued to introduce seriously. The main recipe of this meatball is to beat the fish into minced meat. Then, add the prawn meat and sorghum flour. Put them together and beat them until they are smooth. Then, freeze the various fillings and wrap them in the meatball. The meatball is coated with a thin layer of flour mixed with egg white. Fry it in a pan of oil for about 3 minutes. Then, take the meatball out to cool down. Then make a simple duck pot. Put the roast duck and bamboo shoots together and cook them until they are soft. Then, fish out all the bamboo shoots and put the meatball in. Cook it for 5 minutes. What about the bamboo shoots? Lu Shuang asked. The staff smiled. This Taoist farmhouse is made with those bamboo shoots. The method is... All right, I don't need to know how to make it. Thank you for your hard work. I'm going to dig in. Lu Shuang stopped her from continuing. She took a bite of the farmhouse. In short, it was super delicious. How is it? Shen Yan asked. Lu Shuang gave her a thumbs up. Shen Yan smiled. Didn't you say that I'm stingy? The income from this place will be directly deposited into your bank account. Lu Shuang paused and gave him an ambiguous look. Afraid that he would see through her emotions, she lowered her head again. Hello, everyone. I'm Qin Tang Tang. You can follow me on WeChat. Chapter 595. She was going to leave soon. Even if he gave it to her, she wouldn't dare to take it. After the meal, Lu Shuang saw the painting that Shen Yan was talking about. It turned out that he really brought back that willow branch. He didn't make it into a specimen, but he processed it and made it into a miniature willow tree. Beside the willow tree was a bridge. On the bridge, a man and a woman stood facing each other. The woman was holding a willow branch and the man was holding an ice cream. Wasn't this the scene they used to see? This is a 3-sided painting. You can see it differently from different angles. Shen Yan pulled her to the center. In the middle, the painting was changed. The woman was holding an ice cream and the man was holding a willow branch. Wow, it's amazing. It's not as amazing as Insomnia. After making all 3 sides, you used the principle of optics. Didn't we have a lot of such designs on our pencil boxes when we were young? I remember it was on your pencil box too, Shen Yan explained. How could she remember the pencil box when she was young? Shen Yan held her hand and walked to the right side. In the painting, a man and a woman were kissing. Lu Shuang blushed instantly. This guy was too imaginative. When did you make this? As for the junior high school graduation, I prepared a gift for you and told you not to forget me. Even if we were not in the same place, we should keep in touch. I waited for you at the airport for 2 hours, but you didn't come. You even turned off your phone. Shen Yan recalled. His eyes were sharp. Her eyes were sharp and sad. She vaguely remembered that her classmates called her one by one, saying that Shen Yan was leaving and that she was at the airport now. She wanted to sleep. There were too many calls from her classmates, so she just turned off her phone. At that time, she thought that it was great. Shen Yan had finally left and her good days were coming. She went back to sleep with a sweet dream. Did you ask those classmates to call me? Lu Shuang asked in disdain. You even said that I called over 20 of my classmates to tell you that I was at the airport. Why didn't you send me off? Shen Yan frowned and asked with anger in her eyes. If she said that she wanted to sleep, he would probably explode in anger. She pointed at the painting on the wall. The leaves of the willow branch look quite fresh. Did you do something to trick me recently? It's vacuum inside. Of course it's fresh. Do you want me to take it out and let you study it? Is it the one you used to smoke me? Shen Yan's eyes turned colder. She didn't say the reason, but he could guess it. Didn't you like me at all before? Shen Yan asked. I don't like you. I hate you. I look forward to your transfer every day. Lu Shuang said whatever was on his mind. After saying that, she looked at Shen Yan's face and knew that he was angry. She couldn't lose her confidence. There was pain in his eyes, but he didn't hide it. This was different from his usual arrogant and superior look. She was almost cross-eyed. She closed her eyes. Shen Yan was teasing her. He was teasing her so much that she couldn't think. Would he be able to let go of her if she responded to him? She stuck her tongue into his mouth. Shen Yan was even more excited. His breathing became heavier. He carried her up, put her on the bed and took off his suit. Shouldn't he let her go? I think we should take a shower first. Calm down. Before she could finish, he kissed her lips, threw his clothes beside the pillow and unbuckled his belt. Lu Shuang pushed him away. He felt that he was too overbearing. Shen Yan, I can't run away. Take a shower first. Shen Yan was pushed away. He was unhappy. I'm not dirty. I'm dirty. I don't mind. He lowered his head. Chapter 596. You can be shy? How could he not believe it? She wanted to slap him. Carry me to the bathroom. You can't carry me, can you? She decided to goad him. He had no choice but to carry her and walk towards the bathroom. Lu Shuang got what she wanted. She was happy and kissed him on the lips. Little Yen, be good. What did you call me? Do you believe that I won't let you go now? Shen Yan was not satisfied with the way he addressed him. Big Yen. His eyes became more charming. Call me hubby. Lu Shuang pursed her lips. She couldn't say it out loud. No, not yet. You want someone other than your husband to F***ck you? He asked in a husky voice as he put her in the bathtub. I haven't taken off my clothes yet. Lu Shuang was anxious. He placed his hands on both sides of the bathtub and pinned her inside. He looked down at her and said, You haven't answered me yet? Well, not yet, right? Lu Shuang was afraid that her clothes would get wet if he suddenly turned on the water, so she took off her clothes. That's not the question. Do you like me now? Shen Yan asked. The answer made him a little nervous and he couldn't even breathe properly. Lu Shuang hesitated. The longer she hesitated, the worse Shen Yan's face became. I like you, Lu Shuang said. She was just brushing him off, but when she said those words, her heart trembled. If he told too many lies, he would scare himself. Shen Yan smiled and his mood suddenly became better. If you dare to lie to me, I will kill you. Can you regret it? She felt guilty. No, I will kill you even if I regret it. Shen Yan said domineeringly. He took off his other clothes and adjusted the water temperature. Seeing that she was almost ready, he filled the bathtub with water. The warm water was steaming and soon the bathroom became misty, as if it was covering the man and the woman with a layer of shyness, creating a beautiful and dreamy dream. He looked at her with a burning gaze. Lu Shuang felt uncomfortable being stared at by him. He remembered what he had said, that he had liked her since he was in junior high school. Suddenly, his heart throbbed, as if a small stone had been thrown into a calm lake, creating circles of ripples. She cleared her throat. I still want to brush my teeth. Is that okay? Shen Yan squeezed out the toothpaste, filled a cup with water, and handed it to her. She quickly took it and peeked at him. He was also brushing his teeth. His side profile was beautiful beyond compare. Lu Shuang thought of something else. After you left City A, I heard a lot of news about you. They said that you have many girlfriends? Shen Yan looked at her. You believe in rumors? Actually, I've seen you before. When I was traveling, I saw you hugging a beautiful woman and entering a hotel. I happened to be staying in that hotel, Lu Shuang said. Shen Yan remained silent. After he left City A, he did not get a response from her. He was frustrated, so he did have many girlfriends. To be honest, he had forgotten their faces and names. They did not date for long. The longest was 3 months, and the shortest was a day. One of them looked like Lu Shuang, so he brought her on a trip. At first, he had planned to sleep with that girl, so he only got a room. But in the end, it did not happen. He looked at that girl like a shy bride, looking at him lovingly, waiting for him. He thought that if it was Lu Shuang who brought her to the hotel, she would definitely give him a slap or a punch. She would not be so obedient. After all, they were not her. He felt bored and went to ask for another room. He did not touch that girl, and when he went back, he broke up with her. From then on, he did not look for another girlfriend. When he knew that she was going on a blind date, he came immediately. He knew that he had never forgotten about her. He also knew that he only wanted her. I did not do anything with her, Xinyan said. Lu Shuang chuckled. She did not believe him at all. She had seen it. You should install some kind of membrane on your man. Otherwise, I would not be able to tell. Do you still remember our first time? Xinyan asked. Remember my A*S? That B** starred Su Jiaran drugged me. Just thinking about it makes me angry. Xinyan poked her head. You even laughed at me for being fast. Have you forgotten? Lu Shuang tried hard to recall. She could not remember it, but it seemed like it was like that in the video. She smiled and said, Xinyan, did you install an accelerator and it was done in the blink of an eye? A man's first time is fast, Xinyan explained. Really? Then next time Before she could finish, he kissed her. He nipped at her lips with his. It hurts. Lu Shuang pushed him away and covered her lips. She looked at her finger. It was bleeding. She was furious. Xinyan, are you crazy? Let's see if you will spout nonsense again. I want to see which man dares to get close to you. Do you want to die? Xinyan said with reddened eyes. She realized that he seemed to have taken it seriously. I was just joking. You are not allowed to joke, he said domineeringly. His voice became gentle again. I don't feel comfortable listening to it. Huh. He kissed her. This time, it was very gentle. He licked the blood and soothed her wound. Slowly, he moved down her chin, to her neck and collarbone. Lu Shuang felt a little itchy and numb. What should she do? She felt like she was going to fall for him. Fall for Xinyan? She shuddered. It was scary just thinking about it. She pushed him. He held her hand and pressed it on the top of her head. He kissed her arm. There was more and more water in the bathtub. It was so warm that it enveloped her. He stepped in and looked at her with burning eyes. He said softly, Xiaofan, don't push me away anymore. You said you like me. She didn't know. She was confused, and worried. He continued to kiss her. It was moist, hot, charming, and dreamy. She gradually couldn't think. She took everything from him. Her breathing became uneven, and her voice became sweet. It mixed with his panting, forming a beautiful music score. Ripple, ripple. Half an hour later, Lu Shuang was resting on the bed, thinking about life. She was getting older. She was not as stubborn and persistent as she was when she was young. Her love was not so pure. She didn't know if it was because she was used to it or because Xinyan's skills were too good. She actually liked it. Annoyance and irritation. This was not a good state. What's wrong? Xinyan asked when she saw her holding her forehead speechlessly. Lu Shuang came back to her senses. She couldn't tell him what she was thinking about. She turned around and changed the topic. Well, didn't you say we are going to the invisible training base in the afternoon? Chapter 597. She turned around and faced him. I think you look better than Hua Zixing when you dress up as a girl. Why do men need to be good-looking? Xinyan said seriously. Lu Shuang burst into laughter. To attract me. I like good-looking men. He played with her long hair. Then I'd better be good-looking. Lu Shuang's eyes turned into crescents as he smiled. Then why do you like me? It's because I'm good-looking, right? What do you mean by good-looking? Xinyan said in disdain. Lu Shuang's eyes drooped. He was in a good mood. He put his arm around her shoulders and pulled her into his embrace. There are many good-looking people in the world. Many good-looking people are old and no longer look good. I don't care about looks. I think I like you because you did my homework for me for 3 years. Only you, alone. Only you, did my homework for 3 years. You should have said so earlier. If you had, I wouldn't have done your homework for you. Lu Shuang was so angry that his intestines were turning green. Shen Yan knocked her head. Did you forget when you were feeling good just now? I was just joking. Can't I just joke? Don't hit me again, or I'll flip out. Lu Shuang frowned and knocked his head. Only then did he feel better. Shen Yan laughed. Flip out? How? Come, let's see if you can. He turned around and put all his weight on her. D***, you're so heavy. She couldn't move at all. Someone knocked on the door. Lu Shuang was shocked. Hurry up and get up. She didn't want anyone to see her. Shen Yan glanced at the door unhappily, but still let go of her. He put on his clothes and opened the door. Hua Zixing stood at the door and asked gently, I'm not disturbing you, am I? What's wrong? Shen Yan asked indifferently. There's someone I want you to meet. Are you free now? Hua Zixing asked in a friendly tone. Shen Yan didn't want to be angry at her. She calmed herself down and became calm and reserved. Nodding, she said, All right, let's go take a look. After that, I should head over to Formless side. Hua Zixing smiled, turned around, and headed for the 3rd floor. Shen Yan frowned when she saw Nan Gongyu. Nan Gongyu walked up to Shen Yan, nodded and said respectfully, Hello, President. Shen Yan looked at Hua Zixing. You want me to see her? She's not Nan Gongyu. I hid the real Nan Gongyu in the dungeon, Hua Zixing explained. Shen Yan sized up Nan Gongyu. Be it her height, physique, voice, appearance, manner of speech, or temperament, she was exactly the same as Nan Gongyu. Twins? No, it's the effect of the plastic surgery. When I made the agreement with Nan Gongyu, I had already secretly prepared for it. Nan Gongyu is actually very arrogant and can't control her emotions. It's easy for her to ruin things. I was worried that she would betray us one day, so I made arrangements beforehand. A strange look flashed across Shen Yan's eyes. It seemed like she had already prepared for it 3 years ago. If Hua Zixing was a man, she would probably be an outstanding politician. Her shrewdness and schemes were not as shallow as his. Fortunately, her heart belonged to someone else. Her goal was not to stay by his side, so she wouldn't cause any harm to Lu Shuang. Well done. If you need anything, just let me know, Shen Yan said in a low voice. All right. Then I won't take up any more of your time. Have a safe journey. Bring her and have fun. Remember to pamper her and don't bully her, Hua Zixing said. When Lu Shuang was mentioned, Shen Yan revealed a smile as well. Her expression softened. She's the one bullying me now. How would I dare to bully her? If you scratch her once, she'll definitely scratch you twice. Lu Shuang is a very interesting person. All right, hurry up and go find her. Hua Zixing pushed Shen Yan to the door. Shen Yan nodded at her as a farewell and went downstairs. Hua Zixing's eyes dimmed slightly. Do you like him? Nan Gongyu asked. No, how could that be possible? Hua Zixing denied. Zixing, I understand you. If you don't like him, you'll be very magnanimous and tell him not to bring that girl out. You'll analyze the pros and cons from the big picture. After all, he's bringing a girl out. Furthermore, there are many things happening around him, so he needs to be more cautious. But you don't. You use your generosity to encourage them to have fun, because what you want to hide is another side of you. Nan Gongyu analyzed. It's not what you think. Although many things are happening around Shen Yan, everything is under his control. He's developing according to what he wants. He's a very cautious person, and those on the other side are all his trusted aides. Furthermore, that girl is his assistant on the surface, so there's no problem for them to go out together. If they don't go out together, then there'll be a problem. I'm talking about your attitude and the way you handle it. I have my worries. My contract with him will expire in a year, and I yearn for my current position. This position has brought me and my family a lot of convenience. You've seen the Hua family's power as well. Can you deny that this is the result of me marrying Shen Yan? Are you yearning for this position, or yearning for that man? Zixing, you can't lie to me. You've fallen in love with him. Nan Gongyu was very certain. Because when she was explaining, she revealed an anxious expression. This did not match Hua Zixing's scheming and steadiness. I don't. You know about my body's condition as well. Hua Zixing explained. Indeed, I know your body's condition better than you. You can live a married life with him now, and there's a 50% chance of you giving birth to a child. You want to become his true wife. Zidan, only by facing your own feelings, can I help you. Nan Gongyu persuaded earnestly. Xiaoyu, I really don't have that kind of feelings for him. I'm only yearning for my current position. If one day, I realize that I've fallen in love with him, I'll tell you. Nan Gongyu held onto Hua Zixing's wrist. Humans have some biological reactions, and they can't lie. Let me ask you now, do you like him or not? Hua Zixing paused for a moment, then retracted her hand. She turned around, and was a little flustered. I like him. Nan Gongyu was certain. That man is perfect enough, and he's compatible with you. Xiaoyu, don't do anything. I know what I should do. Hua Zixing said solemnly, and furrowed her brows. Amen. Nan Gongyu revealed a smile. It was a very faint smile, with a hint of sadness. Hua Zixing turned around to look at her, and then regained her happy expression. You've just arrived in a country, and there are a lot of good food in a country. Let's disguise ourselves, and I'll bring you out to eat. Nan Gongyu nodded. Chapter 598. Lu Shuang looked at Nan Gongyu by accident and met Nan Gongyu's eyes. He paused for a second, but before he could take a closer look, Shen Yan turned his head away. He lowered his voice and said to Lu Shuang, That's not the real Nan Gongyu? What? Lu Shuang was surprised. But she seems to be the real Nan Gongyu? There is a girl named Xing Buhua, who looks exactly like Gu Lingqing. However, she has plastic surgery, but he is natural. Shen Yan explained. Wow, I've seen it for a long time. Lu Shuang thought of Bai Ya. If Gu Lingqing died, Bai Ya wouldn't be able to live. Either Xing Buhua is Gu Lingqing, or Bai Ya is avenging Gu Lingqing now. What if the revenge is over? Lu Shuang didn't dare to think about it anymore, and he felt very uncomfortable. Who killed Gu Lingqing? She changed the topic. I don't know. Wow, there are still things you don't know. Lu Shuang teased, trying to ignore the discomfort in his heart. So what if he was uncomfortable? There was nothing she could do. Shen Yan held her shoulders, pulled her into his arms, and looked down at her. Lu Shuang didn't dare to think about it anymore. It took all his strength and effort to deal with Shen Yan. What's wrong? There are a lot of things I don't know, such as who wants to kill you and who killed your mother. However, when I find out, I won't let them go. I'll make them wish they were dead, Shen Yan promised. Looking at Shen Yan's serious face, Lu Shuang suddenly had the illusion that they could be together forever. This Shen Yan was very manly. Since when did he become the type of man she liked? She was a little flustered and turned her face away. Shen Yan held her face and made her face him. What? Lu Shuang asked. Just keep me in your mind, Shen Yan said meaningfully. Lu Shuang was slightly surprised. He could read minds. Got it. Bai Ya's family. She received a call from Lang Shuang and knew the contents of the meeting. Leng Shun, do you know where the formless training base is? Bai Ya asked worriedly. Yes, it's in the East Forest area of the uninhabited island. Do you need me to send someone there? Lang Shuai asked. Bai Ya shook his head. It's not appropriate for your people to appear in Shen Yan's area. It's also not appropriate for Ying's people to appear there. I know what to do. Just keep an eye on Shang Dongqing. I'll handle the rest. Okay. Also, madam, it's like this. The chief has been missing for a long time. Can we meet him? Everyone's morale is very low, Lang Shuai said. There are other spies in the military area. According to the information I received, those two people have already mixed in with the trusted subordinates. It's too dangerous for Gu Lingqing to meet you now. Let me find the spy first. However, I'll pass on your thoughts. Bai Ya analyzed rationally. All right. I'll listen to your instructions. I'll continue to give them exams. Thank you for your hard work these days. It's my duty. I also hope to find the problem person as soon as possible. It's going to snow in a few days. Ask your people to be careful when they send it over, Baya reminded her. Okay. Madam, take care of yourself too. Also, will you come to the military area during the new year? Leng Shuai invited. Baya shook her head. I have my own arrangements. Okay. Let's talk again. Leng Shuai hung up the phone. Baya called Alan. You haven't contacted me for a long time, Alan complained. Baya also felt quite embarrassed. She always thought of contacting him when something happened. Are you still coming to a country? I still owe you a meal. Then I'll buy a plane ticket now, Alan said with a smile. Baya paused. Really? I'll send someone to pick you up. You've already sent someone to pick me up. I'll definitely come. I don't want you to wait for too long. I'll tell you the time after I buy the plane ticket, Alan said. Baya realized that he wasn't joking. Oh, okay. I'll contact you when I get there. Heh. Alan laughed. As if he knew everything, he said, Now tell me the real reason why you're looking for me? Baya sighed. I'm sorry for always troubling you. I'm willing to endure hardship. I'm afraid that you won't bother me. I've been waiting for your call for a long time, Alan said gently. You can call me whenever you want. If you need any help, I'll do my best. Because of you, I earned 100 million. I want to buy you a gift. You can't reject it. Tell me, what do you want? Baya heard someone greeting him on the other side of the phone. He should be at the company. She walked out. He wouldn't really cross the ocean just because of a sentence from her, right? That 100 million is what you deserve. But if you want to give me a gift, I'll be too embarrassed to accept it. Let me think. Sing me a song? Baya asked. Alan smiled happily. I hope to sing 10 songs for you. I wonder if I have the honor? That would be my honor, Baya said with a smile. She was the most relaxed when she talked to Alan. He was like a saint, truly perfect. First, tell me why you're looking for me. I'll settle it first. I don't want to be disturbed and you won't be able to enjoy it. Alan got into the car and the chauffeur closed the door for him. He whispered to the chauffeur, To the airport. Baya heard it. She had to treat him well this time. After all, she blew up one of his factories. She had the responsibility to find him a profitable project. Well, I want mercenaries. The best. Can you help me contact them? Baya asked. No problem. I'll get them to contact you later. I'll hang up now. Alan hung up. Baya turned around. Xing Buhua stood behind her. His face was dark and a little green. I'm not dead yet and you're already making me a cuckold. It's not a cuckold. Alan is my friend, Baya explained. Xing Buhua walked towards her. I don't think there's real friendship between a man and a woman. If he didn't like you, he wouldn't be so nice to you. She remembered what Gu Lingqing said a long time ago. She went forward and hugged Xing Buhua. She said softly, I'll only be friends with him. I promise, definitely and definitely. Although Xing Buhua felt uncomfortable, she absolutely believed in her. In her heart, there was only Gu Lingqing. But what if Gu Lingqing died? I'm worried if you're not by my side. I think about you every day and can't do my work properly, Xing Buhua said in a low voice. Baya smiled. I'm a pregnant woman now. Who would think about me? Chapter 599. Your wife is not young. You are thinking too much. How about I shave my head and say that I have become a monk? You can rest assured now, right? Baya said helplessly. You don't have to become a monk. There's no need to become a monk. I'm the Minister of Foreign Affairs now. It's easy for me to let someone in. Besides, I'm the main interviewer. Xing Buhua smiled. Shan Yen doesn't want me to go, Baya said with concern. So you won't go if he doesn't want you to? Xing Buhua asked. I have brought you the answers. Baya found it funny and explained, I have dealt with Shang Dongqing and now I am dealing with the Minister of Education. The executive should know that I did it. If I enter the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, I think there will be a bloodbath. What are you afraid of? With me here, No one will dare to touch you, Xing Buhua said with certainty. Baya thought for a while and did not reply immediately. Let me think. I am not in a hurry. I have to wait for the written test and interview to enter the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. How about we go to the island for the new year? Let's go together. And ask Mom. Baya did not want to leave an old woman alone at home. During the new year? Xing Buhua paused and thought. What's wrong? Baya could see his concerns. We are not like before. The protection on the island is not strong and it is easy to be exposed, especially during the new year. The soldiers have to go home for the new year. If they don't go home, they will be homesick and their fighting power will decrease. It is best not to leave at this time. What do you think? Xing Buhua analyzed. Baya thought it made sense. Will you come during the new year? Of course. Baya nodded. It would be good to have him with her. This was the first time they had been together. She wanted to be with him. Her phone rang. It was a series of unfamiliar numbers. It was probably from the mercenaries. She picked it up immediately. Hello, Baya. I was introduced by Alan. My name is Kuan, the man said in fluent English. Hello, it's like this. I need you guys to help me protect someone. The situation is quite bad. The area where the other party is located cannot be invaded. Once discovered, you guys might be in danger. I need at least 5 people. Is that okay? Baya asked. Sure. Give us the location and the photos of the people you need to protect. We'll depart now and arrive tonight, Kuan said confidently. Also, I'll pay for your expenses. Alan is just my friend, so you don't have to pay for it, Baya reminded. They didn't ask about the fee. She guessed that Alan was paying again. Is that so? Then you tell Alan. He paid for half a month. I'll hang up first. I'm coming over, Kuan said and hung up the phone. Baya had no choice but to call Alan. Kuan contacted you? Alan guessed. You don't have to pay for me. I have money. How much is it? I'll transfer it to you. You helped me earn 100 million. I'll give you some interest. You don't have to worry about it. If a friend is in trouble, I don't deserve to be your friend if I haggle over such a small amount. Alan said calmly. He stopped her from saying anything. The other meaning was that if she rejected his kindness, she wouldn't be behaving like a friend. Then just take it as a gift. Don't sing, Baya said helplessly. Alan laughed. His laughter came from the other end of the phone. Are you sure you don't want it? Xing Buhua's expression was terrible. He snatched Baya's phone and said, Yes, I'm her boyfriend. That's all. He hung up the phone. Baya was speechless. He's seducing you. I can see that, Xing Buhua explained and threw her phone on the table. Baya covered her mouth and smiled. Although his action was domineering, she felt warm in her heart. Xing Buhua looked at her and smiled. You're still smiling. It's fine if you smile at me, but you're not allowed to smile at others. Baya nodded. She sat on her seat and moved her stool. Xing Buhua sat opposite her tacitly. His knees clamped on hers as if he was punishing her. In fact, he just hoped that she only had him in her eyes. Baya broke into a smile. Xing Buhua was fascinated by her smile. He couldn't help but smile too. He called her silly, but his tone was extremely doting. They graded the papers together. Baya looked at him slowly. It would be great if they worked together in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. They could see each other every day and advance and retreat together. Just like what she had hoped for a long time, to become a big tree like Gu Lingqing, instead of just hiding under his protection. Very soon, she and Gu Lingqing would live in bliss forever. She hoped that one day, Lu Shuang would also forgive her. Lu Shuang realized that the invisible training base was very far away. The car had been driving for 3 hours, but they still hadn't arrived. She was a little bored. She played games until she felt dizzy and wanted to vomit. She put away her phone and looked at Shani Yen. He closed his eyes and pretended to sleep. She didn't know if he had fallen asleep or not. The light of the setting sun fell on his handsome face. Under the sunlight, his skin was as transparent as jade. If he was a woman, he would probably be charming. She thought of her Debeo. Her Debeo's facial features gradually opened up. Half a year ago, he looked exactly like him. Over the past 6 months, He had grown double eyelids. His eyes were big like hers. They were big and his eyeballs were big, not as coquettish as this guy. However, other parts of his face were still exactly the same as him. Did this mean that he had inherited their strengths? Thinking of Debeo, Lu Shuang's heart softened a little. When their Debeo grew up, his looks would be rare. She wanted to find a daughter-in-law like Bai Ya or Hua Zixing, who was gentle, smart, and graceful. She couldn't find a daughter-in-law like her. That would drive her crazy. Thinking of this, Lu Shuang burst into laughter. Shen Yan opened his eyes and looked at her. He put his arm around her shoulders and pulled her into his arms. He said in a low voice, "What's so funny? Tell me." "I'm thinking, what will our future daughter-in-law look like?" The moment Lu Shuang said it, he realized that he had said something wrong. Wasn't this a hint that their Debeo was still alive? Fortunately, she saw that Shen Yan didn't understand the other meaning behind it. She went along with her and said, "You're right. Forget it. Two tigers can't live on the same mountain." Shen Yan also chuckled. "So you also know that you're a tigress." "I'm a tigress, and you're a bird." Lu Shuang continued his words. "Didn't you say that you're a tigress?" "I can say that about myself, but others can't say that about me." "Where's my EQ?" Lu Shuang said disdainfully. She pushed him away and looked out of the window. Shen Yan put his arm around her waist and leaned toward her. He whispered in her ear, "You sleep with a bird every day, so you're a little bird too." Lu Shuang's face turned red. Chapter 600. He hugged her, and she felt too hot. She twisted her waist and protested, changing the topic. "How much longer? We'll be at the end of the world if we keep driving." "Soon, we'll be at the dock soon." "Dock?" Lu Shuang looked at him in shock. "We're going to take a boat?" "Yes, on an uninhabited island." Why do you people like to stay on the island? It's far, hard to walk, and dangerous. Lu Shuang complained. Arranging for the exercise on the island. First, it'll be away from the crowd, so it won't disturb and affect the people, and it won't hurt them. Second, it'll be in a closed environment, so the exercise won't be interrupted by many undesirable factors. Third, their actual combat environment will be worse than on the island. So we'll make it worse during the exercise to train their ability to deal with problems, to make decisions, and to take action, Shen Yan explained. They're amazing. Lu Shuang laughed. A long time ago, she wanted to marry a soldier. If it weren't for Shen Yan, she would have been a soldier's wife by now. Shen Yan looked at her and tapped her nose. Your future husband is their leader, so he's even more amazing. Shouldn't you admire me? Admire? You? Ha, I admire you so much. You can let go of me now. I can't breathe. Lu Shuang pried his hand away and hit his palm. Shen Yan hugged her again with a smile and kissed her face. Lu Shuang turned his head away in disgust and pushed his face. Shen Yan, you're too clingy. You don't like it? Shen Yan asked. Yes. She felt warm because of him. Shen Yan let go of her and sat next to him. He closed his eyes and looked cold. When did he become so easy to talk to? It felt a little abrupt. She leaned over to look at him and placed her hand on his forehead. Are you okay? The corners of Shen Yan's mouth turned up. He held her hand and squeezed it in his palm. You're just asking for it? The word it sounded too ambiguous when it came out of his mouth. Lu Shuang felt embarrassed and covered his mouth. You're talking nonsense. Shen Yan smiled happily and let her pull him into her arms. He leaned on her and looked at her with a doting smile in his eyes. Lu Shuang didn't know what she was thinking, but in that instant, she was mesmerized by his good looks. She released his lips, lowered her head, and kissed him on the forehead. Shen Yan was not satisfied with the kiss. He hooked the back of her head and let her closer to him and kissed her on the lips. Lu Shuang felt something soft on her lips. His red tongue and upper lip were wrapped around hers. He sucked, released, sucked again, and released again. This guy's kissing skills were so good. She wondered how many women he had trained with. She was in a bad mood. She must have been stupid to have kissed him. She was confused and flustered. Lu Shuang stepped back and looked out of the window anxiously. Shen Yan was dazed. She could make him fall in love with her so easily. He sat up and asked, "What's wrong?" Nothing." He could feel her emotions turning cold. He asked worriedly, "Did I hurt you just now? Why don't I let you do it?" Lu Shuang had a strange feeling. "No, we're in the car. Uncle is still here." Lu Shuang pointed at Colonel Chung. Colonel Chung was sitting in the front seat and got shot. In fact, he had also experienced stormy waves in his heart. Previously, the president had given him a feeling of nobility, a strategist, a maturity beyond his age, and a scheming mind. He had the boldness to kill the other party from 1,000 miles away with a wave of his hand. However, since the arrival of Lu Shuang, he felt that the president was not a god, but a hot-blooded man. He was only concealing his youthful charms and his shrewdness, and these were easily exposed in front of Lu Shuang. He was probably the only old official who saw him exposed. It was an honor, an honor. "I'm driving. I can't see anything," Colonel Chung said with a smile. Lu Shuang twitched the corner of his mouth. She felt that he was trying to expose himself. "He must have seen everything," Lu Shuang said to Shan Yen. Shan Yen looked at him and smiled. "He saw it. So what? You're so annoying." Lu Shuang rolled his eyes. "Me or him?" "You." Shan Yen kissed her face and she pushed him. "Anyway, he hates me." "N." Shan Yen grinned, lifted her chin, and kissed her. Lu Shuang dodged again. Why did she feel that he was even more clingy than half a year ago? He was even more clingy than Debao. Luckily, they arrived at the dock. Lu Shuang pointed outside. "Look, we're here." "Yeah." Shan Yen leaned his face against her and looked outside. "How many more hours will it take for us to reach the uninhabited island?" Lu Shuang asked. "More than 5 hours." Lu Shuang. Why the hell did she have to come? Couldn't she just ask him to give her everyone's information? Lu Shuang banged on the window and murmured, "It'll be midnight when we get there." Shen Yen laughed. "Is there anyone lazier than you?" "Yes, there are many." "Yes, you're more diligent than the person who hung the biscuit around his neck. Put on your down jacket, hat and scarf. It's cold outside, don't catch a cold." Shen Yen reminded her. Seeing that the car had stopped, she didn't argue with him anymore. She put on her down jacket, hat, scarf and gloves. The guard opened the car door. Lu Shuang got out of the car. The sea breeze seemed to be able to pass through her thick clothes and touch her skin. It was cold. She shrank her neck and stood aside, waiting for Shan Yen. Shan Yen got out of the car. He was wearing a long black trench coat, a white scarf and black leather gloves. Underneath, he was wearing a simple suit, vest and shirt. The moment he got out of the car, the atmosphere changed. She could feel the tension between the guards and they were all in their best condition. He walked on the red carpet under the guidance of the guards. On both sides of the red carpet, there were soldiers in green military uniforms with guns in their hands. All of them puffed out their chests, looking valiant and high-spirited. Shen Yen had a strong aura. He was noble, graceful, mature, reserved and steady. He was like a different person from when he was in the car just now. He walked towards the cruise ship. Lu Shuang immediately followed him. She was now a respectful little follower, Shan Yen's assistant. Shan Yen got on the ship and turned to look at her. She was not a pretentious person. She jumped on the ship without hesitation, looked at him and adjusted her clothes. Could it be that she shouldn't have jumped? He looked at her dumbfounded expression, but her eyes were lively. He had the urge to hug her. Chapter 601. Shan Yen walked to the first floor. The ship was very big. There were 3 floors on the top floor and 4 floors including the cabin. The ship was also full of soldiers. She saw cannons on the top floor and the head of the bed. It must be a modified warship. She followed Shen Yen into the first floor. Someone came to take off Shen Yen's coat and hung it on the hanger respectfully. As soon as she came in, she felt hot. She looked at Colonel Chung who was standing next to her. No one helped him take off his clothes. He was also wrapped up tightly and did not take them off. She didn't dare to take it off. Shen Yen looked back at her. "Don't you feel hot?" "Yes," Lu Shuang said in a low voice. Shan Yen pointed at the hanger in the right corner. Take off your coat and hang it there. Okay. Lu Shuang immediately ran to the corner and took off her heavy down jacket. She felt much more relaxed and hung her hat, gloves, and scarf on the hanger. The clothes rack, which was originally tall and big, felt a little out of place after she hung her clothes on it. Come here. Shen Yan urged. Okay. She saw Shen Yan standing there waiting for her, so she ran to him. Colonel Chung wiped his sweat. Aren't you going to take off your coat? Lu Shuang asked. Colonel Chung smiled. I didn't get the president's permission. Lu Shuang. Shen Yan heard it and looked at Colonel Cheng. Colonel Cheng, you must be tired after such a long journey. You can go and have a rest. Assistant Lu will take care of me. Yes. Colonel Cheng nodded and left. Lu Shuang scratched her head. Without Colonel Cheng, she was worried and didn't know what to do next. Shen Yan walked in front. When they arrived at the door, he said to the guard at the door, serve the dishes. Assistant Lu will eat with me. Prepare the dishes together. Yes. The guard nodded to Lu Shuang. Lu Shuang had seen him before. Last week, when they were entertaining the Prime Minister, the head bodyguard was also there. She thought of something. Shen! She paused, looked at the guards around her, and nodded respectfully. She put her left hand on top of her right hand and pressed her hands on her abdomen. She said calmly, this subordinate is afraid. You seem to have forgotten something important. Shen Yan pursed his lips. He couldn't help but smile. Are you talking about the reward you received from me? Mr. President is wise. Lu Shuang felt that Shen Yan was quite smart. Didn't you reject it? Shen Yan teased her on purpose. Why didn't she remember rejecting him? She couldn't argue with him in front of so many of his subordinates. After I went back, I thought about it again and again. Although I felt that it was my duty to protect the Prime Minister, I felt aggrieved if I got nothing. After thinking about it, I really shouldn't have rejected your kindness. After all, a soldier who doesn't want to be a general is not a good soldier, and an employee who doesn't want to be rewarded is not a good employee. Although you rewarded me, it was mainly a way to improve the morale of the soldiers. You told the soldiers that working for the president was worth risking our lives. I shouldn't have done it. I almost made a big mistake. Please reward me, President. Lu Shuang said seriously. Shen Yan couldn't control herself and grinned. He knew that she was eloquent and had a glib tongue. She was also very smart, but she was lazy. Got it. I didn't forget. I have ordered it. It will be promulgated at the next meeting. Shen Yan said and walked to the table. A woman in a black suit with her hair in a bun pulled out a chair and stood aside after respectfully asking Shen Yan to sit down. Lu Shuang took the chair and sat opposite Shen Yan. The woman in the black suit glanced at her with displeasure, frowned, and signaled her to stand up. Lu Shuang stood up in confusion. Shen Yan turned back and said to the woman behind her, I asked her to have dinner with us. Yes. The woman nodded respectfully. Lu Shuang sat down carefully again and looked at the woman's face. The woman stood expressionlessly with her eyes down and didn't look at him again. Lu Shuang cleared his throat. He didn't know what she should do next. Shen Yan looked at him and explained, You just came back from abroad, so you are not familiar with many people in China. She is Secretary Zhang's daughter, Jiang Jing. She is in charge of some internal affairs. You can call her Executive Jiang. Lu Shuang guessed that both Secretary Jiang and Executive Jiang were Shen Yan's favorites, so he looked at her with a commanding look just now. Hello, Executive Jiang. I am Assistant Lu. N. Jiang Jing responded with a cold and aloof tone. She belongs to me and will only listen to my orders in the future. Your father may not have time to tell you. Shen Yan said to Executive Jiang. She also meant that she had no right to order Lu Shuang around. Executive Jiang got it. He nodded respectfully and said softly, I see. The guard captain walked in with the chef, and the delicious smell came to their nostrils. Lu Shuang's stomach was growling with hunger. The chef put 2 trays in front of him and Shen Yan and opened the lids. She saw that she had steak, vegetable salad, foie gras, apéritif, borscht, pasta and fruit. Then she looked at Shen Yan's. The steak was bigger than hers, the salad was more, and the fruit was better. In addition to the pasta, there was also a super big lobster. She suddenly felt that it was unfair. Mr. President, Do you know that there is a famous general in China named Huatsubing? Before Lu Shuang could say anything else, Shen Yan pursed her lips and couldn't help but laugh. She could see through her at a glance. She wanted to eat his lobster. When he goes to war, he lives and eats the same as the soldiers. Therefore, he is very loved by the soldiers. He is an admirable general who always wins, Lu Shuang said. Shen Yan still didn't change her expression. Seeing that he still didn't understand, Lu Shuang continued, only in a feudal society will people be divided into different classes. But this kind of unfairness will often speed up the demise of the feudal society. You are quite knowledgeable about politics, Shen Yan said meaningfully. Continue. Lu Shuang was speechless. She was a little angry. She felt that Shen Yan was deliberately pretending not to understand. For example, she picked up a piece of lobster from Shen Yan's plate and bit into it. It was delicious. The meat was juicy and bouncy. She could tell that the lobster was cooked alive with a lot of soup. She swallowed it and continued. The kings in ancient times would let their subordinates taste the food first. Just like what I did just now, they thought it was quite high-end, but in fact, they just ate a table full of leftovers. Another example. Lu Shuang picked up another piece of lobster and put it into her mouth. She ate 2 pieces and smiled happily. They actually don't know that lobster can't be eaten with a lot of fruit. It will make them weak. And then, Shen Yan asked with a straight face. It's better to be happy together than to be happy alone. It's better to die together than to die alone, right? Lu Shuang said. Chapter 602. Lu Shuang looked at him in surprise. I also want to be a beloved monarch. What you said makes sense. This is your reward. Shen Yan said. Then she looked at the guard captain and said, just prepare the same food for me and Assistant Lu. Oh yes. The guard captain nodded respectfully. For a moment, she thought he was so manly. He was not her type. After dinner, Lu Shuang was too full. But he couldn't go back to bed in front of so many soldiers. She was Shen Yan's assistant. She would follow him wherever he went. Shen Yan walked towards the door. Lu Shuang followed her. He entered the study. There were books on the shelf. He took out a forensic records and sat at his desk, flipping through it. Jiang Chongqing came in with a cup of coffee and put it beside Shen Yan respectfully. You can leave now. Assistant Lu is here, Shen Yan said without raising her head. Jiang Chongqing frowned slightly and looked at Lu Shuang. Lu Shuang looked at her unhappy eyes. He had a strange feeling and lowered his head. Jiang Chongqing came to her and said coldly, the president likes to drink freshly brewed coffee. Can you make it? Lu Shuang nodded and then shook his head. She nodded because everyone knew how to make coffee. She shook her head because she felt that Jiang Chongqing didn't want to leave. Besides, he was very unhappy that she took his job. She wanted to let her make the coffee. You nodded and shook your head. Can you make it or not? Jiang Chongqing raised his voice slightly. Shen Yan's eyes were sharp. I don't want to drink coffee today. I have nothing to do tonight. Assistant Lu, make tea for me. Jiang Chongqing's face turned pale. No matter how stupid he was, he could feel that the president was protecting Assistant Lu. She lowered her eyes and left the study. Lu Shuang locked the door and looked at Shen Yan. I don't think it's good for you to do this. It's not your style to say something like that, Shen Yan said, lowering his head to read his book. No. Seeing that he was ignoring her, Lu Shuang ran over and leaned on his book, not letting him read. She said, when I was in high school, there was a girl. My class teacher spoiled her very much and gave her the best. Everyone else wanted to study at night, but she didn't want it. Everyone else wanted to do exercises, but she didn't want it. She's sick and resting in the dormitory. The homeroom teacher will visit her. All of us hate her, understand? That woman is you, right? Shen Yan asked. Lu Shuang paused. How did you know? What do you have that I don't know? Shen Yan said with certainty. Her eyes were dark and burning as she looked at her. Lu Shuang had a guilty conscience. After all, she had too many things to hide. This is not the point I want to talk to you about. For example, if you embarrass the bodyguard because of me, the bodyguard will hate me. If Jiang Chongqing loses his job because of me, he will panic about unemployment and his future. He will also hate me. You don't want everyone around you to hate me, do you? Lu Shuang said. She was reasonable. So what? I don't hate you. Other people are angry but dare not to say anything. You don't need to pay attention to them. After you marry me, they must listen to you. If you don't like them, you can directly fire them. Shen Yen said domineeringly. I don't think it's a good idea. High-key people will die quickly, dear. Lu Shuang had concerns. Shen Yen sneered and clamped her face. She said in a strange tone, why do I feel that you always attract the people at the top of power? The class teacher, Jiang Yi, me, who else? Of course not. Lu Shuang pushed Shen Yen's hand away. His face was full of pain. The class teacher takes care of me because he is my father's good friend. My father told him that Jiang Yi and I are just neighbors. It's not the kind of relationship you think. Lu Shuang said with a guilty conscience. Once upon a time, she wanted to treat Jiang Yi as a partner. Unfortunately, her plan was not as fast as the changes. Before she tried, she impulsively went back to China. If Jiang Yi had confessed to her earlier, perhaps according to her character, she would have accepted him impulsively. Only as a neighbor, right? Can a neighbor travel thousands of miles to find you? Shen Yen didn't believe it at all. She raised the corner of her mouth, which made Lu Shuang feel gloomy. You are so annoying. Lu Shuang turned around and ignored her unhappily. She stood in front of the bookshelf and looked at the many books in it. Every successful person had something in common. For example, there were many books. She remembered that Gu Lingqing's office also had a lot of books. Unfortunately, she didn't expect that his life would be so short. If being smart meant dying early, she'd better be stupid. Her phone rang. She was about to answer it when Shen Yen snatched it away. When Shen Yen saw the caller ID, her eyes turned cold like an icehouse. Speak of the devil. He really came. Who is it? Lu Shuang craned his head to have a look. Shen Yen didn't give him a chance. She answered the phone, turned around, and walked to her desk. She said coldly, What's the matter? Jiang Yi heard Shen Yen's voice. He paused for a moment and asked kindly, Is Lu Shuang around? Shen Yen looked at Lu Shuang, who craned his head to look around. Her eyes were shining. She just took a shower and is lying on the bed now. She is too tired. Tell me what's the matter. I'll tell her when she wakes up. Lu Shuang was speechless. She felt that her Prince Charming had flown away. When Shen Yen was hateful, she was not just any ordinary hateful person. She said she was too tired, lying on the bed, and had just taken a shower. These were all some kind of suggestive description. She was unhappy, mainly because it was too embarrassing. What would others think of her? She shouted at Shen Yen. The crayfish was delicious. Shen Yen, who are you talking to on the phone? Shen Yen's face darkened. She stared at Lu Shuang. If her eyes were blades, her throat would have been slit by now. Jiang Yi laughed. So she didn't sleep. It seems that she didn't take a shower either. Judging from her energetic voice, she shouldn't be tired. Really? Then I should continue to sleep with her, lest someone misunderstands if I let her out. Shen Yen said coldly. I remember that you married Hua Zixing, right? Jiang Yi asked. Shen Yen pursed her lips. Her eyes were fixed on Lu Shuang's face. He was too impulsive and exposed his shortcomings. He couldn't help it. He couldn't calm down when it came to her. He lacked thinking. Do you think I don't know what your motive is? Don't have any ideas about her. She's innocent. Come at me if you dare. I think you've misunderstood. I'm not involved in the feud between you and Jiang Xingyu. I like her. When I fell in love with her, I didn't know about her relationship with you. Jiang Yi said sincerely. Chapter 603. Shen Yen, if I had the intention to go against you, I would have exposed De Bao or told Jiang Xingyu, but I didn't. So don't doubt my sincerity. I don't want to hurt her. I like her, maybe more than you can imagine. I don't fall for anyone easily, but she made me fall for her. I want to be with her, love her, protect her, and give her happiness. If you really like her, you should let go. You know that the two of you are not suitable for each other. I believe that she is not someone who is willing to be the woman behind someone else's back. Zhang Yi said it with confidence and maturity. Perhaps it was because of his experience it was convincing. Shen Yan gritted her teeth. Her eyes were as deep as a bottomless lake, and her breath was even colder. How long have you known each other? It's only been half a year. I've known her for more than 15 years. Do you think it's interesting? Love has nothing to do with the length of time you've known each other. Some people can be together for a lifetime but never fall in love with each other. Some people can only be seen for 10,000 years. I believe that she likes me too. Please give her the phone. Zhang Yi said calmly. Shen Yan sneered. You dream on. She won't be using this number anymore. You don't have to call her anymore. Shen Yan was so angry that he hung up the phone and locked Lu Shuang's eyes. Lu Shuang felt that his gaze was murderous. She shivered and had a bad feeling. He walked towards her with heavy steps, as if he was shrouded in black smoke. Wherever he went, everything would become barren. It was the first time that Lu Shuang saw Shen Yan so angry. She took a few steps back and retreated to the door. This was Shen Yan's territory. Where could she retreat to? Even if she ran, she couldn't run away from him. Do you want some tea? Lu Shuang looked around and asked with sparkling eyes. Shen Yan walked in front of her and stretched out his hand. Lu Shuang thought that he was going to hit her and turned her face away. He held the side of her head and locked his eyes on her. Do you like Zhang Yi? No, who said that? Why would I like him? He's an uncle. Lu Shuang denied immediately. Shen Yan looked into her eyes. Lu Shuang frowned and told herself that she couldn't feel guilty. She looked like she was going to eat her. She had a good impression of Zhang Yi, but not to the extent of liking him. Then why did you expose me just now? Shen Yan continued to ask. I don't know. Lu Shuang feigned ignorance and slipped under his armpit. I don't know. Lu Shuang said that. I don't know. Shen Yan didn't know. At that time, she really didn't think that way. She just felt that Shen Yan's words made her feel embarrassed, so she directly refuted him and didn't think much about it. I don't know, Lu Shuang said. He tightened his grip on her hand, clearly dissatisfied with the answer, as if he wanted to break her hand. Lu Shuang felt the pain. Shen Yan, let go. It hurts. Pain will teach you a lesson. Shen Yan said sternly, I won't allow you to contact him again, not even by phone. I'll give you a new number when we get back. You don't need to use this number anymore. It's fine if you don't need it. Do I have the right and freedom? Let go of me. My hand is really going to break. Lu Shuang's face was pale from the pain. He let go of her hand and returned to his seat. He was still angry and smashed the coffee cup in his hand on the ground. There was a loud bang, and the killing power was extremely great. Lu Shuang was afraid of Shen Yan. He was so gloomy. Being in the king's company was like being with a tiger. He was fine just now. But now he was furious. It was better for her to leave. After all, a man's heart was like the moon in the water. It was not reliable. Especially a man like Shen Yan, who was so high and mighty. When he liked her, he would keep her by his side and dote on her. But when he didn't like her, he would kill her. Shen Yan saw that she was standing still and far away from him. He ordered coldly, clean up the floor. You can leave now. I can leave now. Lu Shuang did not want to face him now. She did not wait for Shen Yan to speak. She saw his sharp gaze and hurried out. Seeing that Executive Zhang was still there, she smiled and said, The president's blanket is on the floor. Please go and clean it up. The president said that I can leave now. I'll leave first. Executive Zhang frowned. Because the room was made of titanium alloy and soundproof, no one outside could hear what was going on inside. Therefore, Executive Zhang did not know what was going on inside. However, she did not like Lu Shuang very much. He was too careless. She pushed the door open and saw the broken glass on the floor, as well as the president's livid face. The room was filled with low pressure. It was very quiet, just like the calm before a storm. She did not dare to say anything. She took a cloth and kneeled on the floor to wipe it. Shen Yan clenched his fists tightly. He looked at the book, but he could not read a single word. He stood up and walked out, Lu Shuang went out. She did not know where he was going, but she entered the room next door. The room next door seemed to be a conference room. It was empty except for a sofa. She lay on the sofa to rest and looked at the white ceiling. Actually, she should have kept a low profile. She should not have made Shen Yan angry. Why could she not control her mouth and temper? In the past, she had her parents to protect her. She could speak without thinking. But now, she really could not do that anymore. She felt a little sad and her heart ached. She closed her eyes. When she went to Formless and saw the name list of their members, she would find the murderer who killed her mother and let Shen Yan bring him to justice. Then she would leave. She fell asleep in a daze. Jiang Yi said that he liked her, and it didn't seem like he was lying. He didn't care about others, and he didn't think that they could surpass him. Even if they did, he would make them die miserably. But he was afraid of Jiang Yi. Other than his outstanding looks, mature and steady temperament, he also had a sage-like demeanor. This was something that he had never seen in others. He was a mysterious, sophisticated, and unfathomable man. He was really afraid that she would be snatched away. Compared to Jiang Ye's carefree attitude, he indeed had too many concerns. The less confident he was, the angrier his temper became. He knew that he shouldn't be, but he couldn't control it. Facing her, he couldn't be rational, and his emotions were too volatile. He hugged her from behind. Lu Shuang twisted his waist to resist. He buried his head in the crook of her neck and took a deep breath. Even though she used the same shampoo and shower gel as him, he felt that she smelled especially good. He didn't say anything. "What are you doing? Weren't you angry at me just now?" Lu Shuang's tone was a little resentful. "I thought you left. I couldn't find you anywhere." Shen Yan's voice was slightly choked. "Where can I go? This is the boat. You were the one who asked me to go out. I don't know where to go. You even confiscated my phone. It's all your fault." Lu Shuang looked at him. She was the one who should be wronged, okay? She saw that Shen Yan's eyes were red and her heart trembled. Was he going to cry too? From what she remembered, he didn't seem to have cried before. Seeing him like this gave her a strange feeling. It was sour and there was an indescribable emotion. Maybe it was heartache. She didn't want to argue with him anymore. There were more important things to do. She turned around and faced him. "Don't be angry, okay? It was my fault for exposing you on the phone. I always spoke without thinking. You know that. I'll change next time. I'll try my best." Shen Yan cupped her face and covered her lips with his cold lips. He kissed her deeply and said in a low voice, "Don't leave me, no matter what happens." Lu Shuang paused. She had made up her mind to leave before she went to bed. She didn't have time to answer him. Shen Yan's eyes turned cold again. Even the temperature of his palms was freezing. "You still want to leave, right? You came back to use me to take revenge. Now that you're done, you're ready to leave, right?" Lu Shuang felt that he was angry again. He hurriedly said, "Not really." "Then what is it?" Shen Yan asked. Her temper was almost worn out by Shen Yan. "When you treat me well, I don't want to leave. When you treat me badly, I want to leave immediately." Shen Yan was stunned. This was indeed in line with Lu Shuang's character. "Anyway, you are not allowed to leave in the future. If you run away again, I promise I will break your legs and scratch your face after I catch you. You can try it if you don't believe me," Shen Yan warned. He was actually just scaring her. He knew that she loved beauty and was afraid of pain. If she really left, he would die of heartache. "Don't you like me?" Lu Shuang thought about it and felt a little scared. "I feel a little like a pervert. So don't run away," Shen Yan said in a low voice. Lu Shuang didn't want to stare at this problem. He rubbed his stomach and changed the topic. "Shen Yan, I'm hungry. Do you have supper?" Shen Yan stared at her. Lu Shuang was really afraid of him when he was angry. She stood on tiptoe and kissed his lips. "Only when you are full will you have the strength to work. Do you still want it?" Shen Yan held her waist, pulled her to his side and hugged her tightly. She was almost out of breath. Pushing his shoulders, she realized that he would be angry, so she put her arms around the back of his neck and forced a smile. You're still angry? Then I'm going to suffer for a few days. It won't be hard for you. Go back to the room first. I will ask someone to send it to your room later. Shan Yan said in a hoarse voice. Lu Shuang smiled and pinched her face. You scared me to death just now. You are still so cute now. You are so pitiful that no one loves you. Shan Yan said in a strange tone. Of course not. I don't think 2 trains can fit the one who loves you. Lu Shuang flattered. Chapter 605. Got it. Let go of me first. If we stay here longer, your subordinates will think too much. When you go out later, you have to pretend that you're still angry at me. Then, don't let them find out about our relationship, Lu Shuang reminded and let go. Shan Yan was still hugging her. The people outside are all my trusted aides. He's just a trusted aide. Many people died because of them. It's true. I've seen a lot of similar news about high-ranking officials being removed from their positions. They were all reported by their trusted aides, Lu Shuang said sincerely. The more she didn't want others to know about their relationship, the more he wanted to announce it to the world. There's something I need to tell you. Zhang Yi knows that Debao is my child. Based on my relationship with Jiang Xingyu, who knows when they'll capture Debao to threaten me. So, I've already transferred Debao. It's moved. You know where Debao is. Lu Shuang opened his eyes wide in shock. What do you think? Shan Yan asked. Lu Shuang was speechless. She had a bad feeling about this. Her mind exploded. Now that Shan Yan had found Debao, it would be difficult for her to escape in the future. What should she do now? When Shan Yan saw how stunned she was, her eyes darkened. She let go of her hand and walked outside with a livid face. Lu Shuang's face was pale as he jogged behind him. There was no need to pretend. Everyone knew that the president was very angry. Assistant Lu was going to be unlucky. Colonel Cheng also noticed that something was wrong. He pulled Lu Shuang aside and asked in a low voice, What did you do to make the president angry? I think I'm the one who should be angry. F***ck, my Debao. Lu Shuang wanted to cry but had no tears. What Debao? Is it painted on your face? There are other moisturizers on the ship. Colonel Cheng was puzzled. Lu Shuang realized that he had said something wrong. It was so tiring to be a human and not be able to speak freely. I have other things, it's fine. Come with me. I've arranged a room for you. Talk to the president later. This is the first time I've seen him so angry, Colonel Cheng reminded. Okay. Lu Shuang followed Colonel Cheng to the top floor and entered a room. Colonel Cheng left and closed the door for her. She sat on the sofa, shaking her feet. She was worried, but there was nothing she could do. From the beginning to the end, she was a person without the strength to truss a chicken. She hated herself for not being capable. If only she could be like Bai Ye, who could do whatever she wanted. That would be great. With a creak, Lu Shuang looked in the direction of the voice. A secret door was opened and Shen Yan walked in. Where did you take Debao to? I'm a little worried about him, Lu Shuang said worriedly. Don't worry, he's in a safe place. After I marry you a year later, I'll let him return to my parents' side, Shen Yan said in a low voice. The implication was that if she left, she would never see Debao again. However, she couldn't show any objection. How long will it take for us to reach the shore? Lu Shuang asked. An hour. Okay, she answered with flagging interest. Knowing that Debao was in Shen Yan's hands, she was not in a good mood. What's wrong? Shen Yan asked coldly. His eyes were emitting cold light, and his heart was twitching. Although he asked why, in fact, he could guess what Lu Shuang was thinking now. Because he could guess it, he felt very uncomfortable. I want to see Debao, Lu Shuang said. Shan Yan smiled and came to her. She put her hands on both sides of her body and stared at her. For Debao's safety, we can't see him for the time being. Isn't your friend the same? Gu Lingqing hid their child. If you really want a child, we can prepare for pregnancy now. When we get married, we can also hold Xiao Bao. What do you think? Don't. It's also dangerous, okay? She pointed at her head. Are you confused here? Yes, I am. Do you remember what she said to me in the meeting room just now? Didn't she ask me if I wanted it? I want it, he said, sitting next to her and looking at her with a devilish charm. Lu Shuang paused, and the anger in the room became very strange. Now, I haven't eaten yet. They are going to do it. It will take at least half an hour. There is still time. Eating after exercise will make your appetite better, Shinian said coldly. She also felt cold, but she didn't move. How long do you need to think about it? Shenian asked coldly and looked at her with drooping eyes. There was no lust in his eyes. Lu Shuang felt that he couldn't avoid it, so he sat on his knees and put his arms around the back of his neck, but he didn't want to do it at all. Shenian, can we do it tomorrow? Lu Shuang asked politely. Shenian sneered. What do you think? Tomorrow is another day, and there are other things to do tomorrow. Lu Shuang lowered his eyes in disappointment. Shenian reached out and brushed her hair behind her head. Why? You keep lying to me? You know that I know where Dabao is, and you feel that you can't escape, so you are sad? Lu Shuang frowned slightly and looked at him in panic. Shenian smiled. His coquettish eyes were still beautiful, but because of his cold pupils, there was a hint of coldness. It's not like that, Lu Shuang said. She was afraid that he would ask what it was like. She kissed his lips to prevent him from asking. Shenian didn't respond to her, nor did he say anything. He looked at her coldly, as if he was an emotionless statue. She continued to kiss him, and her red tongue entered his mouth, mixing with his cool breath. He still didn't respond. She felt a little defeated. Every time he flirted with her, she would easily lose her bottom line. He was much harder to flirt with than she was. Shenian, you don't want it? Lu Shuang asked. Continue. He said these two words simply. She took a deep breath and adjusted her mood. She undid his tie, the buttons on his suit, and the 2 buttons on his shirt collar. She kissed his Adam's apple. He looked down at her coldly. She observed his expression. He didn't seem to be in love at all. She unbuttoned his shirt, hugged his back, and stopped moving. Shenian, I'm very bored when you do this. Give me a response. How should I respond? Kiss you, or do I want you? Do you want it? Shenian asked in return. Don't you know whether I want it or not? Lu Shuang said ambiguously. His large palm slid down the waist of her pants. She didn't struggle and looked at him awkwardly. He scoffed. How many more lies do you have? Come, say it all at once. She couldn't say it clearly. She kissed his ear and said softly, I want it really. He looked at her, trying to determine if she was telling the truth. Lu Shuang blushed. He grabbed his arm and cleared his throat. Can you feel it? Chapter 606. It was more suitable for her to let Shenian take the initiative. She didn't want to be questioned again, so she unbuckled his belt, unzipped it and let him go. He easily took off her clothes, held her waist, and lifted her up. Lu Shuang gasped and looked at Shenian, noticing that his eyes were still cold. Things were already like this. How long was this fellow going to keep his temper? She twisted her waist and stared at his expression. Be more serious, you are too dry. Shenian frowned. Lu Shuang. Then don't be angry. It is just a small matter, right? Lu Shuang tried to please her. You just need to be obedient every day. Shenian said with a deep voice. I want you to take off the ring. Will you do it or not? It is very painful to give birth to a child, and my figure will be out of shape. I only want Dabao. Lu Shuang refused in a roundabout way. I want a few children. One is too lonely and I am under too much pressure. So, you have to take off the ring. Shenian said domineeringly. You are not the one who will be in pain. Lu Shuang resisted. I also want to give birth to a child for you. Except for a few things of principle, I can do whatever you want. Shenian promised. Lu Shuang knew that he couldn't avoid this topic. Shenian must be paranoid. Then when we get married, I'll give birth to a child for you. I'm serious, if I can't do it, I'll be disfigured. That should be fine, right? I don't think it's appropriate to give birth now. You have a beautiful assistant by your side, and the beautiful assistant doesn't have a husband, but she's pregnant. Other people will guess that it is you. Lu Shuang tried to reason with her. Anyway, it was still a problem to get married. Where did this beautiful assistant come from? Shen Yan asked. Lu Shuang paused for a moment. What he meant was that she was not a beauty. She was really angry. She stood up, but he pressed her back down again. She snorted softly and looked at him with furrowed brows. Fine, you're a beauty, okay? Shen Yan corrected herself. So, you're not angry anymore? Lu Shuang asked. First, you are not allowed to contact Jiang Yi, let alone meet him, Shen Yan requested. Sure, we haven't known each other for that long anyway. She had no choice but to agree. Second, you are not allowed to leave me. Lu Shuang nodded and agreed. Thirdly, when I first met you, you were already not good-looking. I don't care about that. So, I want to have at least 2 children in the future. 2 children that truly belong to the two of us, like you and me. Shen Yan's voice softened. Which part of me doesn't have a good figure or looks? Lu Shuang frowned. I feel like I'm being suppressed every day when I'm with you. My confidence is almost gone. You only need me. There's more. Lu Shuang interrupted him. Last time, you said that I can have a wish. There's no more 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Can I? Joe, stop seducing men. Be more pure. God has destined us to be together. You're thinking too much. It's just your imagination. Shen Yan raised her voice. Lu Shuang said. You can't have Joe. I feel that you've become smaller, really. Shen Yan knocked her head. I told you to be more pure. You'll forget it soon. Got it. Then I won't do it anymore. Lu Shuang immediately climbed up the pole. Shen Yan gritted her teeth. She hugged her, turned around, and put her on the sofa. Then, she pressed her legs on top of her head. She felt that this position was too embarrassing. She protested. Shen Yan. I'm here, he said and picked up the tie on the sofa. She sensed danger and wanted to get down, but he was too strong. She couldn't break free. Shen Yan, you can't play like this. How? Let me take a good look at you. Shen Yan said hoarsely. Don't. She didn't want to. Basically, her protest was useless. To a certain extent, she really felt that Shen Yan's skills were not bad. Although she was embarrassed, she felt that she couldn't lie to herself or him. Shen Yan was very satisfied with her reaction. But, he didn't give it to her. Lu Shuang was annoyed. Shen Yan, you can't be so bad. Don't women love bad men? He smiled wickedly. Then hurry up. Hurry up. She frowned and her gaze became unfocused. Shen Yan was bad. He was bad to the core. She had to guard against him next time. Then, are you still leaving? No, I'm going to get angry if you do this again. She was serious. She would really get angry, but it was more like torture than what he was doing. Shen Yan smiled, and his abs moved closer to hers. Lu Shuang let out a long breath. Do you like it? Shen Yan asked ambiguously. Lu Shuang pursed his lips and looked at him, but he didn't say anything. Then I'm going out. He pretended to leave. I like it. Lu Shuang said helplessly. She hadn't tried other men, but Shen Yan's skills must have been learned from Nyonyo. He untied his tie and finally put her down. When it was over, the ship had docked. Lu Shuang lay on the bed and didn't want to move. His legs were sore. Shen Yan went to take a shower. She didn't want to take a shower. She turned around and looked at the door with her back facing the bathroom. When she heard the door open, she said, Where's my supper? Didn't you say that it would be served in half an hour? The ship has docked, but there's still no supper. Shen Yan laughed. Lu Shuang glared at him. It was all this guy's fault for being crazy today. You're still laughing. I think you should be full. Haven't you fed enough? Shen Yan smiled and walked over. She didn't want to talk to him anymore, so she covered her face with the quilt. He pulled the quilt down and kissed her forehead. Lazy pig, go take a shower. I don't want to take a shower. Lu Shuang protested. Then do you still want supper? Shen Yan asked gently. Lu Shuang thought for a while. She still had to wake up for supper. She didn't have the energy to eat now. I don't want to eat either. Are we going to go ashore? Look at you, can you still walk? Shen Yan asked. Lu Shuang rolled his eyes at him again. Shen Yan pinched her nose lovingly. Sleep on the bed today and go ashore tomorrow. Okay. She closed her eyes to rest. Shen Yan returned to his room and opened the door. Colonel Chung was standing respectfully outside the door. When he saw Shen Yan, he nodded. Is supper ready? Shen Yan asked. Yes, it's in the kitchen now. Should I bring it over? Colonel Cheng asked. No need to bring it over. We're not going ashore today. You can have supper. You've worked hard today. Get up a little later tomorrow. Su Jiaron ordered. Yes. Thank you, Mr. President. Shen Yan patted Colonel Cheng's shoulder. She's still a child. Please bear with her. Understood. Colonel Cheng nodded. Then I'll go back to work. Shen Yan nodded, closed the door, and returned to Lu Shuang's room. She had fallen asleep, like a little pig. He slept next to her and let her pillow on his arm. Lu Shuang found a comfortable position in his arms and continued to sleep. Chapter 607. Shen Yan was faster than him and pulled open the black curtains. Lu Shuang sat up and found that the wall was made of glass. He could see the coast when he pulled it open. What happened? Lu Shuang asked. Shen Yan frowned and made a call. He said coldly, Do you know what happened? The invisible force set up a fake thunder ray this afternoon. I don't know why it suddenly exploded. Maybe an animal accidentally stepped on it, Colonel Chung reported. Check the surveillance. There should be surveillance at the place where the fake thunder ray was set up, right? Shen Yan asked. In order to make the maneuver more realistic and to prevent the soldiers from finding the fake thunder ray according to the surveillance, the maneuver tomorrow will be monitored by unmanned cameras. They have already sent someone to the scene to check the situation. That's all for now. Shen Yan's eyes turned solemn. He hung up the phone, closed the curtains, and looked at Lu Shuang. You woke up in shock? Why was there a bomb? Lu Shuang was surprised. In a real battle, the enemy will bury landmines in the ground. As long as one steps on them, basically no one will survive. In a drill, in order to ensure the safety of the soldiers and to get closer to the display, they will prepare imitation lightning bolts. Simply put, it's an air mine. It won't explode people, but it won't explode, but it will make a loud noise, Shen Yan explained. Did someone step on it just now? Shen Yan smiled and said softly, It could be an animal. There are wolves, bears, and other small beasts on the island. Isn't it very dangerous? Lu Shuang was a little scared. She used to watch movies and often saw a group of people go to a deserted island or a remote and strange place to play. Basically, 90% of the people would die. She thought that those people were really stupid. It would be better to stay at home and watch movies. Why did they go to such a dangerous place? The soldiers are armed with guns. Besides, they all know martial arts. These beasts are no match for them. Shen Yan sat on the bed. Can I not go to the island tomorrow? Can you bring everyone's information to the boat? Lu Shuang asked. You're the safest when you're with me. I have a schedule to come here, so I have to attend. Don't worry, the island is full of my people. As long as I'm alive, you'll be fine, Shen Yan promised. Lu Shuang nodded. Tomorrow, she would know who the person who wanted to kill her was. Once she found that person, she would be safe from now on. She wouldn't have to worry about being afraid. Are you still sleeping? Let's sleep. Shen Yan lifted the quilt and lay on the bed. Lu Shuang couldn't fall asleep and looked at him. He did not sleep either. He kept his eyes open, thinking. Are you worried that it's not the work of a wild beast? If it's a human, it'll be terrifying, Lu Shuang said worriedly. Shen Yan looked at her. Actually, What is it? Lu Shuang asked. Shen Yan sat up and made a call. 1 ring, 2 rings, 3 rings, 4 rings, 5 rings. Hello. Bai Ya's hoarse voice came from the other end of the phone. Did you send someone to the uninhabited island? Shen Yan asked directly. Bai Ya paused and replied, Yes, I'm worried about your people. I need to ensure Lu Shuang's safety. Your people stepped on the mine as soon as they arrived. Send me the photos of your people. Bai Ya was silent. I know. If you want Lu Shuang to be safe, you'd better not touch my people. I know. If it's not necessary, don't let your people act rashly, Shen Yan said and hung up the phone. Lu Shuang vaguely heard something. He sat up and said, I heard my name. Bai Ya sent someone to the island to protect you. She's quite knowledgeable about you, Shen Yan said. Lu Shuang looked down and fell on the bed. He stared blankly at the air for a while and turned around with his back facing Shen Yan. He said in a low voice, Every time I think of her, I'll think of my mother's death. What she did was not what a friend should do. At least, she should have told me about your whereabouts. She shouldn't have lied to me along with all of you. I asked her to do it. I promised her that I wouldn't disturb your life. I just want to know that you're safe. She didn't tell you because she was afraid that you'd reject her. She could tell that I like you, so she wanted to matchmake us, Shen Yan explained. It's different. She's my friend, not yours. I might forgive her, but I won't be friends with her anymore. I won't do it again, Lu Shuang said softly. He said it to himself. She was so hurt when she was betrayed by her friend. Shen Yan hugged Lu Shuang's waist and pulled him into her arms. I'm enough for you. Lu Shuang didn't say anything else. His thoughts ran wild and he was worried. After thinking for an hour or two, his pajamas attacked him. When it was almost dawn, he fell asleep again. After some time, she woke up. Light shone through the gap of the curtains. It was very bright. She looked to her side. Shen Yan was no longer there. She put on a blanket and opened the curtains. Outside, there were many soldiers. They were orderly and disciplined, standing on both sides. In the middle, there were more than 10 men wearing masks. Lu Shuang recognized them. They were Shen Yan's formless clothes. Shen Yan was also standing on the dock, talking to one of the men. This man was also wearing formless clothes, but he didn't cover his face. If the people who wanted to kill her were among those formless clothes, wouldn't it be faster for her to stand here and look at them? Lu Shuang quickly closed the curtains. He looked outside through a gap. There was a knock on the door. Lu Shuang went to open the door. Colonel Chung stood at the door respectfully. The president asked you to get dressed and go to the dining room for dinner. Oh, I got it. Chapter 608. Clothes are easy to copy. Maybe he did it on purpose? Shen Yan reminded him. I don't think so. If he did, he could have just shown me his clothes. Why did he show me his face? But why is there no information about that person here? Lu Shuang covered his head and looked at Shen Yan in confusion. Shen Yan frowned when she saw him like this. Don't worry. I have just ordered that there will be a condolence in the morning. All the invisible people must show up. Follow me and see them one by one. If you don't see the one you saw, it might not be an invisible person. In fact, he also thought that it was an invisible person. That way, the motive would be reasonable, and only the people around him would know his whereabouts. They would only hurt Lu Shuang, not him. However, if it was not an invisible person, the problem would be serious. What was his purpose? Why? Lu Shuang sat on his seat like a defeated rooster. If it is not an invisible person, who could it be? I found out that it was a foreign mercenary last time. Don't worry. If it is an invisible person, even if you don't recognize him, I can still find him. Shen Yan said with certainty. I can only rely on you. I am not smart enough. Lu Shuang nodded his head. Eat breakfast first. It's getting cold. Besides, when you follow me to the condolence, don't show that you are here to look for someone. Can you do that? Shen Yan reminded him. Lu Shuang made an okay gesture. No problem. I will calmly slap them in the face. I will absolutely not reveal any flaws. She lowered her head and ate her breakfast. Shen Yan pushed his share to Lu Shuang. Eat more. What are you going to eat if you give me everything? Besides, I can't eat so much. Lu Shuang pushed his breakfast to her. Remember, when we are on the island, do whatever I ask you to do. Don't be more than 1 meter away from me. Do you understand? Shen Yen said seriously. Lu Shuang took a bite of the bun and nodded. You're the only person I know on the island. If I don't follow you, who else would I follow? Monkey. I'm not stupid. Are there monkeys on this island? Just don't run around blindly, Shen Yen said and lowered her head to eat breakfast. Lu Shuang peeled an egg and asked, Do you eat egg yolks? No, what's wrong? Then I'll throw it away. I won't eat it either, Lu Shuang said as he peeled the egg white and ate it. Shen Yen passed the egg on his plate to her. Here you go. You ate the egg white. You don't want it? Don't your cooks know that you don't eat eggs? Lu Shuang asked suspiciously. Shen Yen knocked her head with the egg. I eat eggs. Didn't I save them for you? Lu Shuang rubbed his head. Since he was absent-minded, he didn't want to argue with him. Thank you then. She took the egg from Shen Yen's hand, peeled the eggshell clean, and ate the egg white. Her mind was wandering. If it wasn't the invisible man, who could it be? Her head hurt just thinking about it. After breakfast, Shen Yen looked at her deeply. Lu Shuang touched his face. There was nothing there. What's wrong? Go to the room later. I'll send the clothes you want to change into, Shen Yen said in a low voice. What clothes? Lu Shuang was puzzled. Aren't all my clothes in the room? Clothes for combat, Shen Yen said. Combat? What kind of combat? Lu Shuang was confused. There's a drill in the afternoon. We're also in the middle of the drill. Follow me, Shen Yen said. Lu Shuang. I say, Shen Yen, are you crazy? I'm following you to find the person who killed my mother. I'm not your soldier. I don't need to participate in the drill. I don't rely on this to make a living. It's not necessary for me to participate. Lu Shuang opened his eyes wide. Then why do you think military training is necessary when the school starts? Shen Yen asked. Lu Shuang twitched the corner of his mouth and said carelessly, That's because they have nothing to do after eating their fill. Shen Yen knocked on his head. That's to train the students' willpower and ability to endure hardships. Lu Shuang scratched his hair with his fingers. It turns out that the military training is indeed very hard. Then, after the military training is over, I still do what I should do. What are you training me for? I won't encounter such situations in the future. I promise I won't go to the deep mountains and forests for the rest of my life. Shen Yen's face darkened. Many things won't happen even if you don't want them to happen. All the preparations offer possible accidents in the future. This is training, and it will only do you good. I will teach you a lot of survival skills. If there is another accident next time, you will be able to survive. If there's another accident next time, you'll know what to do. Lu Shuang, I want to protect you, but sometimes I can't be by your side all the time. I don't want anything to happen to you. Lu Shuang thought of her mother's accident, and his eyes dimmed. Indeed, if she had known how to fight at that time, maybe her mother wouldn't have died. No one knew what would happen in the future. Since Shen Yen wanted her to participate, she would participate. It would be good to try and learn. She made an okay gesture. I got it. Let's give it a try. Remember, don't be more than 1 meter away from me. Shen Yen reminded him again. Lu Shuang nodded. It's not that easy to get rid of me. Don't worry. Shen Yen smiled slightly. I'm looking forward to being stuck to by you. Lu Shuang had a strange feeling in his heart. It seemed that she really hadn't stuck to him before. She returned to her room, and soon, someone brought her clothes. The clothes were all green, including the vest inside. Lu Shuang took off his clothes, and Shen Yen walked in. He was still wearing his suit. Why don't you change? Lu Shuang asked, puzzled. I'll change after lunch. Then why should I change now? Lu Shuang asked immediately. So that you don't have to change after lunch. Lu Shuang. It didn't sound like there was a problem. She continued to put on the clothes, one by one. There were many sets, but the material of the clothes was very good, and it didn't affect her movements at all. Shen Yen didn't leave, but stood by the side and looked at her. Lu Shuang put on all the clothes and looked at herself in the mirror. She pulled the hem of her clothes and praised herself. I look pretty cool. She even gestured a gun with her hand and smiled. Shen Yen looked at her seriously. No matter what happens, don't take off your clothes. I'm not stupid. It's so cold. Lu Shuang smiled and sat on the bed. She leaned back and shook her legs. She looked at him and asked, When are we leaving? Remember to protect your head now. Shen Yen reminded her. Chapter 609. Shen Yen put a gun in her waist bag. There are bullets in the gun. Don't shoot unless it's absolutely necessary. Lu Shuang looked at him timidly. Will he die if I hit him? The gun is real, but it depends on where you hit him. Shen Yen said in a low voice. He held her hand and held it tightly. She didn't know why, but she felt that his expression was very serious, not at all like his usual devilish self. It seemed that something big was about to happen. Let's go. Don't forget to put on your down jacket before you leave the ship. I'll see you on the deck, Shen Yen said and let go of Lu Shuang's hand. They went back to their room from the secret chamber before going out. Lu Shuang also went out and put on a down jacket. When she got to the vest, he was already there. He was wearing a black windbreaker over a suit. His hands were in his pockets and his back was facing her. The hem of the windbreaker swayed slightly with the wind. He was like a jade tree in the wind, a clear breeze and a bright moon. It was because he was wearing it. Was that the reason why he didn't wear it? She also felt cold, especially when the sea breeze blew over. She shivered and shrank her neck. But her mind was much clearer. This man, just looking at his back was enough to make one's imagination run wild. He was actually doing that with her. Thinking about it, she felt a little proud. Wahahaha. Shen Yen turned back to look at her. His clear eyes and the majesty of a king made Lu Shuang pause. He gave her a completely different feeling from his usual self. She put away her pride and looked at him in confusion. He didn't speak to her but walked towards the shore. Immediately, many people followed behind him. Lu Shuang also followed behind him. Soon they reached the shore. There were more than 20 military officers waiting by the shore with their backs straight. There were also more than 10 cars. They were all very respectful to Shen Yen. They nodded together and didn't dare to raise their heads. Someone opened the car door. Colonel Cheng sat in the front passenger seat. She and Shen Yen sat in the back seat. She looked at Shen Yen. Shen Yen looked ahead with a cold gaze. He had an unapproachable aura. She didn't dare to speak. She looked out of the window and listened to the sound of the waves crashing against the rocks. Because no one spoke, Lu Shuang felt the atmosphere was heavy and oppressive. He felt a little out of breath and took a deep breath. Her hand was held by someone, and it felt warm, as if it had given her strength. Lu Shuang looked at Shen Yen. He was still holding her hand and looking forward. He asked, Is everything ready? The driver said, I'm ready. There will be 10 people in each group, and there will be a total of 27 groups. The teams will be randomly selected. Well, Colonel Cheng, you and the guard captain will stay in the control room and be in charge of commanding. Report to me immediately if anything happens, understand? Shen Yen ordered. Yes. Colonel Cheng nodded in a businesslike manner. Lao Zhou, has anyone sneaked out of the island recently? Shen Yen asked. Lao Zhou's body was tense, and he reported with trepidation. All the tasks are carried out according to the orders of the superiors. No one dares to disobey the military orders. So far, no secret operations have been found. Really? I'll give you a task now. Do it secretly and don't let anyone know, Shen Yen ordered. Yes, Mr. President, please tell me, Lao Zhou replied carefully. This afternoon, most of the invisible special guards will participate in the maneuver, and only a few will stay at the base. I've brought 100 pinhole cameras here. Install them according to the drawings I've given you. Don't tell anyone about this except for you, not even Lao Tang or Lao Yu, Shen Yen said coldly. Lao Zhou said coldly. Lao Zhou suddenly understood why this maneuver was so grand and involved most of the invisible special guards. It turned out that it was to install the pinhole cameras. I promised to complete the task. Shen Yen didn't say anything else. Lu Shuang was touched and looked at Shen Yen. He had done all that to protect her. If the person who wanted to kill her was really invisible, he would be able to find out their whereabouts immediately. Her heart was also made of flesh and blood. She had feelings for this friendship. Although he had forced her, imprisoned her, and didn't give her freedom, he had never hurt her. He had also given her a good life. This time, he had treated her even better. Even when she was living in his house, he didn't mistreat her at all. Nan Gongyu bullied her. Even though he knew that he couldn't touch her and that it would endanger his political position, he still crippled her to avenge her. A long time ago, when she was still an adolescent girl, she had dreamed that in the future, there would be a prince who could see her as an unpolished jade, and give her a happy life. The prince must be handsome, gentle, considerate, loving, fond of, and tolerant of her. Her future son must also be like this. If her son was a prince, his daughter would be a real princess. However, that was just an unrealistic dream when she was a little girl. As she grew older, the dream of being a prince had long been abandoned in the dust of youth. For her, finding a mature and steady man who had a regular job, was not a playboy, and was not ugly was enough. After all, there were too few princes and too many girls in the world. She was not as smart as Bai Ye, not as gentle as Bai Ye, not as tough as Bai Ye, not as mature as Bai Ye, and not as ambitious and perfect as Bai Ye. She was very ordinary. She was born in an ordinary family, grew up in an ordinary environment, and had an ordinary personality. She was so ordinary that she could be found everywhere on the street. Therefore, when Shen Yen said that he liked her, she didn't believe it. The gap between them was too big. Shen Yen married a wife and kept her in captivity. She didn't feel sad, because it was impossible for her and Shen Yen to be together. She was not ordinary, or she and Shen Yen had been classmates when they were young. His father had the same status as her father. It was just that his father had become the president during the ups and downs of the political scene, and he had become a real prince. When she thought about it, it was incredible. When she was young, she also liked a certain idol group. The three little ones were also high school students. She thought that those who were classmates with the three little ones were very happy. They could meet celebrities every day, and as classmates, it was very easy to get autographs. Now that she thought about it, Shen Yen's classmates must also feel very happy. After all, they had been classmates with the president. Lu Shuang chuckled. She had even slept with the president. She could brag about this for the rest of her life. Hearing Lu Shuang's laughter, Shen Yen tightened his grip. Lu Shuang came back to her senses and looked at Shen Yen. When she met his coquettish eyes, she inexplicably blushed. When she recalled the details of what they had done last night, her face blushed even more. She cleared her throat, turned her face away, and looked outside. She opened the window slightly, letting in some cold air. Her face was too hot. Her face was too hot. Shen Yen also raised the corner of her mouth slightly, and there was a hint of warmth in her coldness. Lu Shuang saw a few houses not far away. They weren't tall. We're almost there. Chapter 6:10. Without Shen Yen's warmth, she felt cold on her hands. She closed the window and looked down. Could it be that she fell in love with Shen Yen? It was a strong feeling. She scratched her head. What if Shen Yen seduced her on purpose and then abandoned her after she fell in love with him? What if Shen Yen and Hua Zixing refused to divorce because of politics? What if Shen Yen got tired of her? What should she do? With his status, he could totally crush her. She could not call for help and would be KO'd. Get out of the car. Shen Yen reminded him. Okay. Lu Shuang saw them getting out of the car and quickly got out. In front of him was a crowd of people. Line up. Lao Zhou's voice was heard. Lu Shuang heard the voice and a few people repeated the word, line up, in a dignified and solemn voice. She stood behind Shen Yen and felt a strong aura and passion. She had been in the army of Gu Lingqing and they gave her the same feeling. She felt that those men were very manly and wanted to marry a soldier. Follow me closely. Shen Yen reminded him in a low voice. Okay. Lu Shuang followed Shen Yen immediately and saw that they were in 10 rows and 27 columns. There was a platoon leader in front of every 3 columns and a company commander in front of every 3 platoon leaders. The commander should be Lao Zhou. He was standing at the front. Those people had taken off their masks and put their hands behind their backs. Their feet were shoulder-width apart and they stood straight with no expression on their faces. Shan Yan walked past them one by one and glanced at each of them. Lu Shuang looked at them too and frowned. Strange, there was no such person. Could it be that the person was not invisible? Then who was that person? After Shan Yan finished walking, she stood in front of Lao Zhou and asked indifferently, "Is there anyone who is on leave or on a mission outside?" "Sir, no." Lao Zhou confirmed. "Tell me the rules of the exercise in the afternoon," Shan Yan ordered coldly. "Yes." He held a megaphone and stood in front of the crowd. "This afternoon, apart from the 9 platoon commanders, 3 company commanders, and the commanding officer, everyone else will be participating in the drill. Randomly assigned, 10 people to a group, a total of 27 groups. The president will bring his people to fill in the spots, and each group will have one. The 5 flags were randomly assigned. On the flags were the words none, form, must, victory, and return. The group that obtained these 5 flags could return here and hand them over to me in advance. That would be the end of the competition. Understand?" "Understood," the warriors said in unison, their aura magnificent. "The first place will be promoted by 1 rank and have 2 months of leave. The second place will be rewarded with 200,000 yuan and have 2 months of leave. The third place will be rewarded with 100,000 yuan and have a month of leave. The fourth place will be rewarded with 50,000 yuan and have a month of leave. The fifth place will be rewarded with 10,000 yuan. Emergency training," Old Zhou continued. "Victory!" The soldiers shouted their slogan. Lu Shuang looked at Shan Yan's expression. He really couldn't see anything from his secretive face. He only felt that his eyes were as sharp as an eagle's. If the president was ranked 6th or below, wouldn't it be very embarrassing? Was there a conspiracy? She felt that she would definitely be a burden. "Now, all platoon commanders and company commanders, please come and draw lots. Those whose name I call will be in a group," Lao Zhou continued. Each platoon commander and company commander would draw 10 people. These 10 people would be in a group, and it was completely random. After they drew lots, it was Colonel Cheng, the bodyguard captain, and someone she didn't know. In the end, she was the second one to draw lots. She was very surprised. She was also qualified to draw lots. She felt it was unbelievable and embarrassed. She was trembling in fear and nervously drew 10 people. On the contrary, Shan Yan didn't draw any. She looked at the invisible people. She wasn't familiar with their names and code names, so she didn't feel anything. After calculating, they had 4 people left, so there should be 6 people on Shan Yan's side. Shan Yan, who else could it be? Lu Shuang looked at the people behind Shan Yan. All of them were expressionless and quiet. He really couldn't tell who was fighting with her. She saw Lao Zhou and Shan Yan whispering something, and Shan Yan nodded. She didn't know what they were talking about. The last group. Congratulations to the remaining soldiers who didn't call out their names. You will be in the same group as Mr. President. They are number 008 Shin Gu, number 171 Zhang Zhening, number 189 Wu Di, and number 234 Hang Tian. After Lao Zhou finished reporting, he looked at Shan Yan. Shan Yan nodded. The bodyguard captain stepped out and said in an imposing manner, "Cheng Mingho, Zhu Jiang, Wang Bo, Han Qingyue, step out. Let the invisible people see the power of our guards." The 4 people whose names were called out stepped out and shouted confidently, "Capital's number 1 guard, let's see who dares to compete with us." "Invisible soldiers, do you dare?" Lao Zhou shouted. "Dare, dare, dare." The invisible people shouted in unison. Lu Shuang. She really wanted to say that this bodyguard captain should be killed. This was clearly a drill of the invisible troops, but they made it seem like a battle between the bodyguards and the invisible people. He seemed to have forgotten that there were 4 invisible people in this team of 10. What did he mean by fight? If she was an invisible person and her own people went easy on their own people, wouldn't they win easily? The 4 of them had to fight 264 people. Were they stupid? Hey, Shan Yan, how did this bodyguard captain get promoted to the position of bodyguard captain? His intelligence is amazing. Lu Shuang approached Sheniyen and said in a low voice. Sheniyen's lips curled up slightly. His father is my uncle's brother. Lu Shuang understood. Nepotism. Sheniyen took the microphone. Seeing that you guys are full of fighting spirit, I'll arrange for the bodyguards to compete with the invisible people after the new year. How about that? Good, good, good. Lu Shuang couldn't help but applaud. Sheniyen was really smart. With just a few words, she brought back the topic that was led away. This was just an internal drill of the invisible people. The bodyguard captain was just an empty spot. Sheniyen smiled slightly. Mature, steady, and graceful. Every move she made was full of the nobility of a king. She passed the microphone to Lao Zhou. Lao Zhou said emotionally at the end, "Soldiers, the president is here to express his condolences. We've worked hard for a year. Let's perform well for the president. Who is the best team?" Invisible is the best. Who is the bravest? Lao Zhou shouted. Invisible, brave. Fearless. We don't seek to be first. We just want to leave the first in the dust. Dismissed. Line up for dinner in half an hour, Lao Zhou said. Chapter 6:11. She thought of Gu Lingqing's army. Gu Lingqing was very strict and meticulous. From afar, people could feel his dignity, responsibility, and morale. Sheniyen's formless made her feel that he had the potential to be a joker. He was a kind of leader who led a team. As far as she knew, there were 3 elite teams in Country A. One was Gu Lingqing's Dark Shadow, one was Sheniyen's Formless, and the last one was Shang Dongqing's. People called them Black Weasel, as if they were a team that existed in the dark. Anyway, the rumors were not good. The soldiers were dismissed. Sheniyen walked towards the room where he was received, and Lu Shuang immediately followed. She had been standing outside with Sheniyen for 2 or 3 hours. Her face was numb from the cold and she could not feel anything. Her feet were also tired from standing. As soon as they reached Sheniyen's room, she took off her shoes and lay on his bed. Sheniyen looked at her. The training in the afternoon will be very tough. Lu Shuang looked at Sheniyen and did not say anything. We'll go eat with them later. Eat more, Sheniyen reminded him. When will this maneuver end? Lu Shuang asked. Not necessarily. If everything goes well, it will be a few hours. If not, it will be a few days, Sheniyen said. A few days. Lu Shuang was shocked and sat up. Seriously? Will we starve to death? If it really takes a few days, we will resupply them. Under normal circumstances, we won't starve to death. Lu Shuang breathed a sigh of relief. But when he thought of how many days it would take, his heart sank. She did not want to participate in this maneuver. She felt that it was a pain in the ass. Could they really learn survival skills from the maneuver? After eating, we will rest for an hour and then we will start the battle. However, under normal circumstances, the members who have said in advance are actually already in the battle from this moment on. So after eating, our team will gather first and discuss the strategy, Sheniyen said. Lu Shuang wanted to cry but had no tears. I want to sleep for a while. You slept so late last night. If I had known, I would have gone to bed earlier. It's a waste of energy. Sheniyen, 4 hours of rest is enough for me, he reassured her. Even 40 hours is not enough for me. You have been pressing my feet all the time. My muscles have been aching since this morning. Lu Shuang tried to find all kinds of excuses to stop thinking about it. Sheniyen sat by her bedside. Her gaze softened a little. Although your body is much better than before, it's still not enough. When we go back this time, I'll run with you every day. You used to run every day, okay? Got it. You're the one accompanying me. I'll take 1 to 2 hours to teach you martial arts, self-defense, and shooting, Sheniyen said softly. Lu Shuang lowered her eyes. She thought of her mother's tragic death. She was a person who did things with passion for 3 minutes, but once that impulse passed, she would be all kinds of gluttonous and lazy. Feeling a little guilty, she sighed and said with dim eyes, My mother must be very sad that she gave birth to such a gluttonous and lazy daughter like me. I really should have trained. I can't be neglected. I shouldn't have let the pain and fighting spirit wear away. Are you sure that person is not invisible? Shen Yan asked. Lu Shuang nodded. Can you draw what that person looks like? The facial recognition technology is quite mature now. Maybe you can find it through facial recognition. Shen Yan said in a low voice. Try it when we go back. Shen Yan, do you think that the person who wants to kill me is not invisible? Could it be Shang Dongqing? Isn't Shang Dongqing on the same boat as you? He's afraid that something will happen to you, so he hired someone to kill me. Lu Shuang guessed. There's no need for him to wear invisible clothes. In his eyes, you're a dispensable person. He doesn't care about you. What if he wants me to hate you on purpose? Maybe he's letting me go on purpose. Lu Shuang let his imagination run wild. Shen Yan was silent. Before I have evidence, I don't want to make wild guesses. I will only fall into someone else's trap and worry about nothing. But I promise you that I will find the culprit. No matter who it is, I will give you a satisfactory explanation. Since Shen Yan had said so, there was nothing for her to worry about. After all, Shen Yan was a person of her word. I hope that my mother's spirit in heaven can bless me to find the murderer. Otherwise, I won't accept it. If my mother doesn't die, my father won't die of depression. It's all my fault, and it's also your fault. Lu Shuang sat up. His eyes were slightly red. Yes, it's my fault. I'll use the rest of my life to make up for my mistake. Shen Yan didn't deny it. He put his arm around Lu Shuang's shoulder. Don't accept it. Don't let me go. Do you understand? Lu Shuang stared at him, thinking about what he meant. You're being sarcastic, aren't you? I mean it. So, stay by my side and torture me with all your might. Don't harm others, Shen Yan said with a smile. Lu Shuang elbowed him in the stomach, trying to push him away. You're the one who will harm others. See, I've been harmed by you. Why do I still have to participate in the drill? Oh my God, I'm a woman. Those are all men. Fine. Shen Yan looked at her and smiled. After the drill, I'll give you a present. You haven't given me the present from last time. Shen Yan scratched her nose. I'll give it all to you after the drill. Lu Shuang warned, if you don't give it to me, I'll keep staring at your butt and nagging. Haha, I don't even want to give it to you anymore. Lu Shuang. She knocked his head. Don't you dare, brother. Shen Yan's eyes darkened. Why are you calling me brother? Do you want to die? Call me hubby. Oh, brother. Lu Shuang said with a smile. Shen Yan lowered his head and bit Lu Shuang's lips. I don't have hobbies with my sister. Do you like to have sex with your brother? Nonsense. Lu Shuang blushed and bit his lips. Shen Yan didn't dodge and was bitten by her. He took the opportunity to cover her mouth and pressed her down on the bed. MMM. Lu Shuang protested and pushed him. Instead, he tightened his grip on her waist. The drill was in the afternoon, and she didn't have the strength to play with him. Lu Shuang bit his tongue without hesitation. Shen Yan felt a sharp pain on her tongue and it became numb. She stared at Lu Shuang. She saw a trace of sadness in his eyes and some inexplicable guilt. She took the initiative to suck on his lips and said softly, I don't have the strength. You know that. I know. It's just a kiss. I'm not doing anything. Shen Yan was a little angry. Lu Shuang smiled honestly. I'm just worried about what I'm doing. Chapter 6:12. His gloomy mood became better because of her words. He tapped on her nose and said, Rest on the bed for a while. I will close the door. Remember, don't open the door for anyone except me, okay? Lu Shuang made an okay gesture. Shen Yan went out and closed the door for her. Lu Shuang turned over and took out her phone. There was no signal on the phone, so she could only play single-player games. After playing for half an hour, Shen Yan still hadn't come back. Didn't he say he was going to eat? She sat up and wanted to go out to look for him, but she didn't know where to find him. There was no signal here. If she got lost, he would have to look for her again. She didn't have any skills. The only thing she could do was not to be a burden. She lay down on the bed and fell asleep. After a long time, she heard someone talking and then the sound of the door opening. She opened her eyes alertly and saw Shen Yen coming in. "Where have you been?" Lu Shuang asked. Because she had just woken up, her voice was soft and sexy, and a little cute. Shen Yen's heart softened when she saw her. Colonel Cheng, who was following behind Shen Yen, already knew the relationship between Lu Shuang and Shen Yen. He was not surprised at all. He walked in and put the food on the table. "Get up and eat," Shen Yen said and walked towards her. "Then I will go down first," Colonel Cheng said. "Ask them to gather in the meeting room in half an hour." "I will be there in half an hour," Shen Yen said. "Okay." Colonel Cheng went out and closed the door for them. Shen Yen took off her coat and suit and said to Lu Shuang, "I will rest for 20 minutes. Wake me up in 20 minutes. "Aren't you going to eat?" Lu Shuang sat in front of the chair. She was hungry, so she started to eat. "I have eaten with the soldiers. You can eat later and save some food," Shen Yen said. "Save what?" She didn't understand. Song Shen Yen did not reply. Lu Shuang didn't hear him turn around. He turned his head and looked at him. Lu Shuang had already fallen asleep. His eyes were closed, and he wasn't moving at all. The corners of Lu Shuang's mouth curled up slightly. Didn't he say that 4 hours of rest would be enough? Ha 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 ha. She didn't expose him and let him sleep. She buried her head in her food and drank her milk. When she looked at the time, it had already been 20 minutes. She walked to the bed and gently pushed Shen Yen. "Hey, it's been more than 4 hours." Shen Yen sensed the teasing in her voice and smiled. For him, 4 hours was enough. At this time, he was taking the chance to rest to conserve his energy. This was because there was a fierce battle in this drill. He did not tell her about it for fear of scaring her. He knew Lu Shuang very well. He was strong on the outside but weak on the inside. He was just a paper tiger. He still remembered that when they were still in junior high, the teacher had asked a few classes to clean the school. She was the team leader of the cleaning area. One day, she had a conflict with the class next door because of who was cleaning the lawn. At that time, she was so fierce that she made the girls in the other class cry. That girl was the prettiest girl in the class and a group of boys came down to settle the score with her. She was frightened at that time, but she couldn't lose her confidence. She shouted, "I want to get the teacher to judge." She turned around and left. He saw her turn around the corner. She must have been scared out of her wits. He brought a group of boys downstairs and beat up the students in that class. Because of his special status as the governor's son, the school did not dare to investigate further. The matter was left unsettled. She didn't even know that he was the one who helped her bully the students. Shen Yen opened his eyes and held the back of her head. His strength was so strong that he pulled her onto his body. He turned over and lowered his head, kissing her deeply on the lips. It didn't last long, just 3 seconds. Lu Shuang looked at him with a red face. "You woke up a long time ago." He smiled slightly. "I just wanted to kiss you. If your subordinates saw you like this, they would definitely faint, right?" Lu Shuang said in disdain. "So, I only let you know that I'm like this. You're the only one who will despise me," Shen Yen said with a smile. He stood up and picked up the black backpack that he had left in the corner. He started to change his clothes. The outfit was the same as hers, but he looked more manly when he wore it. It gave Lu Shuang the illusion that he could protect her. "I didn't expect you to look so handsome in a camouflage uniform." She leaned on the bed, swaying her legs and looked at him with admiration. Shen Yen not only put a gun and bullets in it, but he also put a knife in the bandage on his leg. "Wow, that knife, why don't I have it?" Lu Shuang asked in surprise. "I'm afraid that you'll cut yourself. You just have to follow me," Shen Yen said. "What if we get separated? I want that knife too." Lu Shuang just felt that he looked so handsome in that outfit. Shen Yen threw the knife to her, knelt in front of her, helped her put the knife in the special bandage on her leg. Lu Shuang jumped down from the bed, took out the gun from her waist bag and posed. "Shen Yen, I look handsome like this too, don't I? Don't I look like a female secret agent?" Shen Yen continued to put on other things and couldn't be bothered with her. Lu Shuang saw that Shen Yen was ignoring her. Anyway, she was used to this guy's disdain. She took a few photos of herself to amuse herself. It was a pity that there was no signal here. Otherwise, She would have posted it online and there would be many fangirls. There was a knock on the door. Put it away. Shen Yan reminded her. Okay. Lu Shuang immediately put away the gun and put it in her waist bag. Shen Yan also changed her clothes and opened the door. Colonel Chung stood at the door and said respectfully, Mr. President, they are all waiting in the conference room. Okay. Shen Yan nodded and looked at Lu Shuang. You can go with me. You don't need to wear the down jacket. Lu Shuang nodded. Help me prepare a new dagger. Shen Yan ordered Colonel Cheng. Colonel Chung looked at Lu Shuang's leg and understood. Then he went to prepare the dagger that Shen Yan needed. Shen Yan took Lu Shuang to the conference room. When Lu Shuang saw that the other 8 people had arrived and were wearing the same clothes as them, she suddenly felt a kind of hot blood flowing in her body, swelling and excited. Shen Yan took the note on the table and glanced at it. Number 008 is good at fighting, number 171 is good at shooting, number 189 is good at collecting, number 234 has no specialties or weaknesses, Cheng Mingho is good at fighting and shooting, Zhu Jiang is good at fighting and computing, Wang Bo is good at extreme limits, and Han Qing is good at everything. You is good at everything. Who compiled the information from above? Number 189 is here. Number 189 stood up and said, Hello, everyone, I am Qin Tang Tang. You can follow me on WeChat. You're tuning in to the Xiaofan's Wuxia Tales YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.